Okay, you guys. I am back, and once again, I want to talk about why is it that black men always want to compare their statistics to black women? Why is it that the men in the black community only seem to think that they can compete if they compare themselves to women? Yet you want to hear black men all day, every day talk about how they are so strong, so dominant, so alpha. They're the ones that are supposed to be in charge, and they're the most desirable and the most strong, and everybody's afraid of them. Yet they cannot even compare themselves to other men. Anytime you ask a black man what's the stats, they're always going to say, well, black women make less than us. Black women do this less than us. And I don't understand that for the life of me. Now, I'm going to say I did this slide because I saw some type of lame creator named, I think his name was Bookie or something. All I know is that I saw Saw up there, saying this, having the highest income to debt ratio, and black women being overweight and obese, and the majority of black women are fat and unattractive. And then I go on his page and he picks the most unattractive black women that he can find, or black women that are in ill-fitting clothing or whatever, to try to represent black women. You can't find any pictures of attractive black women, or even plus-size black women, attractive plus-size black women that are dressed in nice outfits. It's absolutely ridiculous and disgusting. So this is what I want to talk about. First of all, this man was on a live talking about how black women have the highest income to debt ratio and shaming black women for that. Now, do you know what I found out when I looked at who is the race of male that has the highest income to debt ratio, or lowest, however you want to call it? You got a lot of money that you owe. Black men. Black men. You see what I'm saying? He said another stat, and my mind is going blank right now. I looked them all up. He was talking about, oh yeah, black women, being fat and out of shape and all of this other stuff. If anybody knows that, you know what? I'm gonna get y'all the percentage of Americans that are overweight. Just a second. Okay, sorry, you guys. I just had to go back and give y'all a stat. So, in the United States of America, 70% of Americans are either overweight or obese. 70%. Now, when I looked at the numbers as far as men that would be considered, I guess, obese, Hispanic men were number one with 45%. Do you know who had 41.7% of obesity, which is very close to 50%? Might I add, black men. So I really don't understand this whole BS that, like, all of these black men are out here abbed up, ripped up, six packs, pectoral muscles, looking so sexy and hot. It doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Any of the negative stats that Shaw had to say about black women, on the other side, black men are on the same situation. So that's what I don't understand. Why get on a live and attempt to down black women and compare yourself to black women and say, oh, we make more here, when if you compare yourself to men like you're supposed to, you don't stand up for anything. You don't stand up against anything. It's really crazy to me. I don't understand how somebody that can say that they're so strong always want to be up under ladies. But anyway, let me just go over here to Deli. You can go ahead, Deli.
Hi, sweetie. I don't
How
know
you doing?
who ever remembers me, but how are you? Have you been?
Pretty good. How are you?
I've been doing good, but I was gonna ask you, I was like, oh, did she hear about that little colorist thing that the black men are on today all of a sudden. You remember Galentine's Day, all of a sudden they needed to be a part of that. You remember like all of these trends that women started for themselves. They started their followers. And for you guys to say you're alphas and your leaders, it sure looks like y'all continuously follow us in our talking points and then just regurgitate it. It's not even as you come up with something original. And then on top of that, they use words that they don't know, like, oh, you're projecting and things like that. I use the word externalization simply because they don't know that word, even though it's the same exact, it has the same, it's synonymous with projecting, but they don't know what that means. As long as they hear it from somebody else, I don't think they understand what it means. And the most terrible thing about it is that they are tearing down their own community. And I've already said that you guys have opened this door. You guys have opened this door, not only like fought us to keep it open, but wielded this sword against us. And then when we no longer care, all of a sudden you guys are going through trauma. All of a sudden you guys are going through the same things that we are going through, like colorism. But I thought we were bitter. I thought we were angry. I thought that we were useless. I thought that we were just jealous of these women. We told these women, oh, no, you getting a trash bag. And they was like, yeah, I just got your man. They hyped their head up and left them a baby mama. Meanwhile, getting DV on them, or they exclude them from the earth. But they keep on running back, Shannon Sharp. But they keep on running back, and it's embarrassing at this point. Oh, no, I'm okay. I'm done now.
Okay,
Sorry,
no
I was
problem,
talking
T.
too long.
Oh no, you weren't. You weren't at all. I just really like start the timer like if there's somebody else up so I can make sure everybody gets a chance to speak. But no, you weren't at all. I was definitely listening to everything that you were saying, and I definitely agree. I just like I said, just seeing the live that I just saw with Saul, who I find absolutely a disgusting and repulsive individual. I even find it even more disgusting that oftentimes I see women in spaces with this man. I don't know for what reason, but they're always there as he tears down black women. And it's very clear that he hates black women. But for some reason, I think that these women think that what he's saying doesn't apply to them when it absolutely does. He hates black women in general. But the fact that he sat there and said all of those statistics about black women and neglecting the fact that as he shamed black women for those statistics, when black men are the on the what is it, a different side of the same coin, that is actually what was crazy to me. It's like when black men were saying, oh, black women, y'all the most evicted, and then you go look it up and you find out that the race of male that is the most evicted is the black man. So why are you kikiing when you are the most evicted man? So you in the same spot that black women in. So why is it so funny, Negro? Like it just is mind boggling to me. But go ahead, T.
Hey, what's going on,
Hey,
Trey?
how you doing?
Oh no, oh man, as soon as I put them down, hold on, I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem, no problem. The kids come first.
That is, I mean, if you would like to equate, because they are not non sequiturs, they are both on the same playing field. As you know, how when we're told that we are Section 8, welfare, EBT, food stamps, all of these things. And then stats prove that we are not the highest beneficiaries, affirmative action. You can say like any of these things, CRT, all of this stuff. We are not the highest beneficiaries of that. Even if we were to say that, they will still do the same thing and say and regurgitate the same things. And that is like, I'm just like, so y'all don't care about facts right now. Y'all care about feelings, because I thought it was facts over feelings. We care about denotation right now, not the connotation about how you feel about the definition of a word, but about the definition itself or about the stat itself. Because if somebody were to come to them and say, what about the black on black? Then all of a sudden you would go straight to stats. But now it's all about your emotions when you're talking down on us. That's weird.
Yeah, I definitely
Everything they
agree.
say, everything they say
Oh,
is,
you have
is
something to
based off
say,
their
T?
emotions. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I came up because I saw, they always want to compare themselves to women, and I say, and I say to myself, yeah, I agree. They definitely do, which I find very strange and very, very embarrassing because they never compare themselves to other races of men when it comes to, not just other men, other races of men when it comes to success level, when it comes to how much money making. It's like they are in competition with us, and that's just straight up to me just pathetic, honestly speaking. And like what the sister said above me is 100% true. Like I just started hearing men complaining about colorism. I'm like, since when y'all care about colorism? That's something I usually hear coming from like dark skinned black women. I don't hear y'all talk about that. And now all of a sudden your preference don't want you no more. That y'all made a complete fool out of yourselves. Now all of a sudden y'all upset about being judged. Like but that's the thing, Trigger, that gets me. Aren't this the same group of men that cry about racism? Like I don't get it. I don't understand how can y'all acknowledge racism but not colorism. It's almost on the it's like the same coin, different sides. Like I don't know. Like that's weird to me. Don't Isn't that usually the case when it comes to racism? Because but they got in their mind that they're the most desirable race on the planet. They're the most desirable man everywhere they go, which is a load of hogwash. We all know that that's not true. That survey came from a dating website, and nobody's listening to that nonsense. But back to the prompt, like yeah, like even when I be talking on my platform, it's like they get this urge want to compare themselves to us, and I just find it to be true. We human beings, sure, but we are not the same. So it is so much so that even with the topic that we talked about the other day, it's to the point they even want to be women. And I find that to be like it's like you said, it's mind boggling. Like y'all really trying to be like us or something like that. Like y'all really want to be women. Y'all want the benefits of men, but y'all want it's like y'all want the authority of a man, but you want to be treated like a pretty princess. I don't know. Go ahead, y'all. I'm gonna just mute right now.
All right, all right, all right. I appreciate you, T. Yeah, and I definitely agree. Like I said, it's just me because every time you get black men, right, they're in company with other black men, and they're also in company with like pick me women that are, I guess, too afraid to challenge men like Saul because they know that they're going to be disrespected and called out of their name if they do. I will say that to paint a picture that black men are so disadvantaged because of racism and because of the systems and stuff and put in play for them, and that's the reason why they are toe tagging each other and also toe tagging black women and toe tagging children and ruining their communities and spreading illegal substances everywhere. And it's all the white T man's fault why they can't get ahead and why they're making all these single mothers and baby mamas everywhere. But why isn't that grace given to women when you look at the so-called concerning statistics when it comes to black women? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, it'd be quick for a black man to say, oh, I'm so po. I'm so po. I couldn't do nothing with my life because I'm so po. And the white T man didn't give me anything. But then when you think about, like, no one says anything about how sometimes people can be overweight or obese because they don't have access to healthy food or they can't afford it. Nobody gives black women that out. Or like how Saul was talking about how black women don't put anything in their retirement funds and they don't retire. Well, you know what I looked up? The least retired man is what? I think you all know. It's a black man. So it's like you are shaming black women for the exact same things that you are doing, and you guys are supposedly the leaders. So why in the world do you say these statistics with no context? Why don't you ever say that, you know what, as we're talking about Black women being overweight or out of shape or this and that, why don't we mention that 41% of Black men, 41.7%, if I'm not about Black men being the brokest, being the most evicted, being all of these things that you say about Black women. That's what I mean, I could respect it more if that Negro did that, but he doesn't. You know what I'm saying? And anybody that can look at that face, you can tell that is a troubled, disturbed man. And what disturbs me the most is that women still be in this man's face because he go to the gym. Like, I don't get it. It make me feel like, have Black women, has it been so many Black women that have never been able to get a man that works out or something? Like, I don't see the appeal. Like, everything about him screams sleaze bag. Like, I don't know. He irritates me so much because he lies so much and he leaves so much context out of the things that he says. And what he does is get in platforms with other ignorant individuals. And when he's in a space with people that are smart, he's always at a disadvantage. He always gets on hush mode if he's checked and he knows that the person is not going to let him go off the deep end. And he's the perfect example, I feel like, of the representative of the collective of the majority of Black men. They have all of these thoughts and opinions, but are completely dumb and ignorant and foolish and bitter and buck broken. It's really it's really repulsive. But anyway, let me go down here to Supervillain. Go ahead, Supervillain. If you have something to say, sis.
Yes. Yeah, that individual definitely that you were speaking about, he suffers from identity crisis and he definitely has a mental illness. And I even say a big part of it is his sexuality that he's fighting with. I've never heard a man talk about women so badly and still present as quote unquote straight. That is a DL man, y'all, who's fighting identity crisis. So I I don't really go around the spaces he goes, but every once in a while, you have mutuals, and I'll see his commentary, and it just he annoys me as well. Definitely a hypocrite. I remember maybe the last encounter or me listening to him, he was like dropping his daughter off to college or something like that. But this is the same man that's telling other women and men's daughters or young women that education is a waste of time and they need to focus on getting a husband. He wasn't dropping his daughter off to go get married. Again, he dropped his daughter off to go complete higher education. So these these dudes are complete hypocrites, liars, so on and so forth. I wanted to say to the comparison that Black men do with Black women is so weird and cringy. The number one stat I hate is when they talk about employment and making money. And whatever, first of all, I don't argue stats because they don't even understand cross-referencing, timelines, nuance, and all those other things. All they do is see a clip and run with it, especially if they heard it on a podcast. So I definitely don't argue numbers with the demographic who could hardly read and don't know basic biology. I'm going to say this. When it comes to the working stat, in every demographic, the man, I think except for Asian, I think is almost the same. But the man makes more money than the women. Also, when it comes to Black women, the gap isn't that big for it to be a difference between men and women. Do you know the one thing they never ever factor in, Trig? That Black women have to do like they take care of family. They do child care or they're taking care of parents or somebody sick. And also that Black women oftentimes get sick a lot. If we did not take sick days or if we did not take vacation days, we would probably be making more money than them. They never factor in that the women are the one doing the child care. And that's often what takes us out of the working market. Again, if we didn't have to take those sick days and those vacation days to take care of ourselves or our family, we'd probably be making more money than them. And remember, they're the first ones to say they don't have kids. So they should be making a whole lot more money than us. They say only 30% of them have children. They should be making more money than us because they're not spending it, again, on any family members. So please, whenever they bring up that stat, we got to start say, yeah, but did you factor in that women take care of children? Women have to take days off because they're sick or they take care of family. Did you factor in that y'all do not take care of kids and y'all supposedly don't have any children? Y'all should be making double what we're making. Please, y'all have to, like, we have to start telling the whole story. They shouldn't be comparing themselves to women anyway, but they do it because they feel like black women are the bottom of the barrel, but forget to put that mirror up. They forget that they are also being at the bottom in the same race. So I just wanted to throw that out there because it's so frustrating. I yield.
No problem, no problem. And I also wanted to say, for anyone that needs to know, approximately 81% of black men have children by their 40s. So I don't even understand where this whole lie of black men not having kids comes from. Unless it comes from the men that know that they got a lot of kids and these women have not put them on the birth certificate. These women don't want nothing to do with them, so that they're not saying anything at all. And they're not putting these men anywhere because they don't want to be bothered. Now that could be the case why maybe some black men feel like black men don't have a lot of kids. But y'all do. And that's, I mean, the level of the lack of education that black men have, and their disability in processing things that a fourth grader should be able to, has got to be studied. It's really wild to me. But go ahead, Deli. Deli has something to say. Go ahead, sis.
I just wanted to say, Brian McKnight, how he had children, he didn't even care about what they were going through. I would say Shannon Sharp, how he literally had to go through a whole scene of saying, my children know I'm the last that they come to, and I don't even want to give them that for his daughter's wedding. Yet he lended out his entire legacy to a YT based off of allegations. So he paid his whole lifespan to a YT woman, and I guarantee you he'll do it again. And then on top of that, Brian McKnight, did he or did he not? He left his entire family and saying, oh, this is my family. If I'm not mistaken, the woman was Filipino or something like that. He left that. So you're creating legacies, just not in the place where it needs to be. You're not creating community. You're not creating legacies. You're creating broken homes. You're doing all of these things. And I find it funny that a lot of men want to sit there and talk about, oh, you're a single baby mama and you're bitter and all of these things, when they are the ones who stayed. When they are the ones who chose to wake up, to take care of their child, to go to the doctor's appointments, to get them enrolled in schools, to find them the best schools, to get and hustle that money so that they can be able to put them through school or whatever education that they want. They want to go to art school. They want to go to math. They want to go to MIT. They want to go to Harvard. They want to go to all these things. Oh, well, they mama about to sit there and work 2 and 3 and 4 jobs so that they can get there. Why are you trying to shame people when you walked away? I would never understand that, because a woman who takes care of her children, now mind you, there are some who just, I was like, wow. But there are a lot of women who are mothers and they are taking care of them. You left them with that responsibility. Oh, because I don't like your mother. I don't like you either. But you have to take care of what you have inseminated in me. What do you mean by that? It's honestly really disrespectful. And I don't even think they equate themselves. I think they believe that we are beneath them, that they equate themselves to the white tea women that they try to date, which is that they lie, they will steal, they will unalive. They will do all of these things based off of their feelings. If you hurt my feelings, I will attack you wholeheartedly. So they're just sitting there regurgitating their talking points. We're not doing anything. We're just like, hey, how about you just like not do that? And they're like, you're bitter, you're angry. All of these things, like the stereotypical things, because they can never place themselves with a white tea man, which I don't understand why. It's not the system that's breaking you down. It's you breaking down us, which is breaking down yourself. And everybody, y'all have allowed everybody to disrespect us. Y'all have opened that door for any and every, I'm talking about Asians, I'm talking about Indians, I'm talking about white tea women, I'm talking about white tea men, I'm talking about every nationality, ethnicity, and race that you can think of. Y'all have done that. Y'all opened the door. So all of a sudden you want to sit there and talk about colorism and how it affected you in high school. Okay, get over it. Because I remember that arm test. Not somebody looking like somebody else's shadow sitting here talking about I look darker than you. Isn't that some insane things? Oh, I yield. I'm sorry, I was talking too much.
Oh no, you weren't talking too much at all. I have heard a lot of black women. I know Supervillain mentioned it as well. This whole discussion of black men and colorism. I just refuse to, now I deeply empathize with black women, dark-skinned black women that speak on their experiences with colorism. I'm gonna say this, that it could be controversial. I don't know. But I will never have a conversation with a dark-skinned black men about colorism. And because for this reason is that a lot of the colorism that has been perpetrated in the black community has been from dark-skinned black men, period. So it's like I said, the most colorist individuals that I have ever come across have been dark-skinned black men. And I'm talking about a Lil Wayne complexion, a 50 Cent complexion, a Kodak Black complexion. Those complexion of men are the most colorist that I've ever seen. So it's like, I'm definitely not trying to hear what y'all got to say about how y'all turned into feeling bad about your color to weaponizing your self-hatred against poor, innocent, dark-skinned black women. And I am technically, I guess, I don't know. I'm a brown-skinned woman. I myself have been called dark by black men. So I really, you know what I'm saying? That was when I was in my younger years, but it still happened. So my thing is that I can't see myself ever empathizing with them, seeing as though, like I said before, they're the main perpetrators. I can't see it. I can't see it at all. You know what I'm saying? Somebody says, Diva Divine says dark skinned women are the same as dark skinned men. I don't believe that, and I don't agree with that. And I'll tell you why. There are so many dark-skinned black women that will seek out and procreate and reproduce with dark-skinned black men. I very rarely hear dark-skinned black women speaking about hating their complexion. The only time I've ever heard dark-skinned black women say that is when they say how they were made to feel by others. It's not the same. I don't believe that dark-skinned black women have that type of internalized hatred. So there is a difference, in my opinion.
I can even
Diva.
give you an example
Yeah, you can go
because
ahead.
yeah, because and I'll just be quick. I'm so sorry because Gabrielle or Gabriel, they're going, but I'll just be quick. I am a dark skinned black woman. And for me, I had to learn how to love myself through me. I had to, when, like I said, the arm test, they will sit there and put their arm up next to you. I've had Africans as well as dark skinned black boys tell me these things. I had to learn myself. So now I'm like, oh yeah, I love this complexion. I love this and I want it on me. I want it holding my hand. I want it next to me. So now I'm like, oh yeah, dark skinned black men are definitely beautiful. Because instead of people trying to portray or trying to put out that I am ugly simply because I am dark skinned, that didn't fly with me. It did not sit right with me. So for me, I can't speak for everybody else because there are some women who still have to learn and who still have to learn themselves. But for me, I'm like, dang, this color you can't get nowhere else. I have gotten this from my ancestors, and they done lock lips with the other dark color nowhere else. So that is what I would say. But there are some who are vying for male attention, and that is not me. Absolutely not. You get blocked really quick. I don't care. Don't come around me with that. Sorry, get Gabriel.
All right.
Get
Oh, no
Gabriel.
problem. I did want to say right here, to the person in the comments, Diva Divine, I really don't know what you on or what your what your intention is in these like weird comments that you're making. I never said that dark skinned black men don't face colorism. I've seen it myself. What I said is I don't care about it because a lot of dark skinned black men, I would say the majority of dark skinned black men perpetrate that same violence against the women in their community. And I don't believe that dark skinned black women, I haven't seen it, do the same, period. And you talking about bullying light skinned women, nobody's bullying light skinned women. Like, what are you talking about?
When
Somebody
did we
calling
bring
you
them
light.
up?
Somebody calling you light bright is not the same as somebody calling you a burnt piece of coal or a burnt piece of tar. It's not the same. And I will, for one, say I've never said anything negative about light skinned women in my life. You're a nut. And the only thing that I can possibly say that I have seen is a form of colorism against light skinned black men, calling them weak or soft or whatever, and thinking that because a man is darker, that that is related to masculinity in some way, which it isn't. That's slave master talk. But other than that, hold on, I'm about to block this person. Never mind, Diva Divine, you're getting blocked. Hold on,
We
let me go
already
over here and
blocked
block
her
you. Yeah,
because
she's gone.
when did we mention light skinned women at all? Like that's
Yeah,
weird.
like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's just I feel like
What?
she was just trying to throw the topic off to something else because I love my black women in all different shades. Okay, I would never discriminate on any type of black woman based on the color of their skin. That's just foolishness. But I think that to talk about the colorism that dark skinned black women face is to not ignore anything that happens with lighter skinned women. We're just talking about dark skinned women at this time, and for you to try to come and make it into something else is very, very weird and is giving all lives matter. So that person is blocked, y'all. Y'all not gonna be able to respond to Diva Divine because Diva Divine is blocked. All right. Let me go down here to yeah, like I said, and it's crazy is I am the only dark-skinned person in my family. Everyone in my family is light-skinned. So except for me, even my daughters. So I really y'all tripping. But let me go over here to Gabrielle and yeah. Hey, how you
Yeah.
doing, sis?
Hey, I'm doing well. Good evening. I definitely did want to respond to the prompt because I have some thoughts on this. I mean, I think it's ultimately because they cannot compete with other groups of men, and that is just like a fact. I mean, if you look at most stats, they will show that, they will bear that out. Like, so it's like BLK men, they have to, try to punch down on women and like compare themselves with women. Like, there's actually a quote, I don't remember who said the quote, but the gist of it is that like the lowest man is like most eager to feel superior to women as a collective. It's like they can't go out and build stuff and compete with other men and compare themselves to men or put their accomplishments up against other men, so they have to try to not only like I said, punch down on women, but also try to like prevent women from rising. And that's why they'll come online and say, oh, we don't care about, we don't care about women's careers, blah, blah, blah. And I can actually give like a personal example to this. So like, I don't like, obviously I don't speak to either one of my parents, but like my dad, like as I got older, like I learned more about him. And like when my parents divorced, he was actually paying child support, or I'm sorry, my mom was actually paying child support to him, which means that she out earned him, I also learned that like when I would like go to my dad's like every other weekend for a while, like he was actually living in like a like I guess like a government assisted like I don't know what you call it. Like basically the government was helping him pay for his apartment or whatever. Whereas like my mom had her own townhouse for a while. My mom had her own apartment. Like I said, I don't really speak to either one of my parents for a bunch of reasons, but just like even that difference, like that discrepancy, like growing up, my dad was there, those like one of those like very domineering, like big on punishments, like I'm the parent, you're the child, do what I say, like big on corporal punishment, all that stuff. It's like, and as an adult, I realized that the reason he was the way that he was with me was because of the fact that he was like objectively a loser and probably knew that deep down, and so he had to kind of try to overcompensate for that. And I think that spilled into his parenting. I think when it comes to BOK men as a collective, the way they are, their attitudes towards women, most of them, the way a lot of them treat women and, speak about women and call women bees and claim that, any man who's like respectful to women is a simp, the way they go after Russell Wilson. I really do think it comes down to the fact that they really cannot compete with other groups of men and probably won't ever be able to. So this is like, it's like in their minds, like, what else do they have? Like, somehow they have decided that it's not an option for them to, build their own stuff, and, come together, and like, they'll say it's racism, but you know what? BLK women are thriving. Like, we really are. I mean, the stats show that we are outdoing BLK men. So like, I don't really care about whatever problems BLK men have. This might be controversial. I don't care about their stuff with the police. I genuinely do not care. That is their stuff to deal with. But all I can say is that, so many BLK women are thriving. And so I really just think with BLK men, I think it's, misogyny. It's, these feelings of inadequacy. Apparently a lot of their jobs are getting wiped out by AI. So that's probably another part of it. And at the end of the day, it's easier for them to, degrade women and compare themselves to women instead of stepping up to the plate as men and, being better. And I really think if they wanted to, they could, but they don't want to do it. And yeah, so I see my timer's running out, but I had just had so many thoughts on the prompt, and that's just what I think about it.
All right, all right. I appreciate you, Gabrielle. And I didn't know, Gabrielle, that you weren't talking to your parents either. You know me. I don't talk to mine either. I haven't talked to mine in over a decade. I didn't know that you also had done the same thing. So it's like I understand where you're coming from. I know it's sad, but I just want you to know I see you. I see you. And we'll have to talk later about that. And what you said, like about the corporal punishment, like your father being big on that. So was mine. I mean, I think back then when I was growing up, it was considered corporal punishment, but nowadays it would be considered out and out child abuse. Cause I remember like getting a whooping or a beating inside, like, I think it was like the Sears bathroom when I was like about 7 or so. And I remember like he was really beating the crap out of me in that bathroom. And I remember man was like, I remember it like it was yesterday. He was like, you think that you should be putting your hands on her like that? And I remember my dad, because my dad had a black belt in karate. He was like, he told him, he said, man, if you don't get out of here and stop addressing me about how I'm taking care of my daughter, that when I come out, it's going to be you next. Boy, that man was gone. That man was gone. But my dad put his hands on me all the time for really nothing. Things that I remember he used to brag to everybody like, oh, I got my daughter potty trained. We got her potty trained at like 10 months, 10, 11 months or something like that. They were always bragging about that they got me potty trained. And he would be like, yeah, because anytime she didn't use the bathroom, what I would do was just whoop her. I would whoop her. I would whoop her. I would whoop her. Like, oh, okay, well, I didn't really have a choice now, did I? To learn if every time I had an accident or every time I was you beat me to do it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'll just say I definitely understand where you were coming from. And that's the reason why I don't do anything to my kids like that, because it's just like, bruh, I refuse to be the monster that I had as a parent. I refuse to bring that cycle of dysfunction and moving forward to the next generation for them to carry that on. But anyway, I just wanted to say I definitely understand what you're saying. But let me go down here to Supervillain has something to say, and then I'll go right down here to Miss Simply. And then shoot. Then after that it'd be the MILF Hunter. Go ahead, Supervillain.
Thank you. I'm just going to condense it, probably spin the block because I had a lot to say. But I first went into that comment, and I know she's blocked, but it's just for everyone else that was taken aback or may have felt the same that she did. And of course, this is a place where we can just be honest and open with each other, and I hope that we can have that real conversation one day. But one thing I've always said is the part of the conversation that is never mentioned is that light-skinned people, specifically light-skinned girls, also participated in doing the dark-skinned jokes. So I don't understand where the dark-skinned girls went after me for no reason thing comes in. you also participated in making fun and doing the dark skin joke. So everybody has a part to play when it comes to this colorism thing. And I just feel like that part of the conversation is never brought to light, right? We always say, oh, they pulled my hair or made fun of me. And it's like for no reason. But again, I remember like being little kids. I remember everybody participating in making fun of the dark skinned person, even the light skinned girls and boys. So let's not act like the vitriol is coming from nowhere. The next thing I wanted to do, especially with these black men with colorism, that's why I also won't ever defend them because they are so unfor real. Again, I think I said this earlier in the last live, Trig. When did they ever go for the black girl or the unambiguous black girl and was turned down? And they're so heartbroken that they've carried this stress since middle school. If I remember in middle school, and that's especially when it starts, they were obsessed with the non black girls. The Spanish girls, the biracial girls, the Indian girls, at least in New York, because we have like a mix. I don't remember these black boys ever being heartbroken over a black girl. So I need one of them to come and tell the truth. And my thing is, even if that's so, which by the way, I could care less if black men interracially date, but I'm just going to bring this up. They'll be so harped on that supposed black girl in middle school. And when they say black, I'm just going to be honest. I think they mean African ancestry. I don't think they mean unambiguous black girl. I think they mean the mixed girl or the three-fourths white girl or something like that. Like to me, they're never talking about the unambiguous black girl. But when they say that the black girl hurt my feelings and they carry this vitriol, well, you had all white teachers who told you were nothing. Biggie made a song about it, right? It was all a dream. I used to read Reddit magazine or whatever. And when he said he's making this song for the teachers that said that he would amount to nothing. Like you went through your whole education, at least to high school, I'm assuming, with white women teachers telling you that you would be nothing. When you go to work, you experience these microaggressions from white people, especially white women. But you hold a vitriol against black women because of the little black girl in middle school who didn't give you attention. But you have no problem dating these other non-black women who your whole life gave you microaggressions. The math will never make sense to me. This is why I don't believe them. This is why I don't stand up for them. And when dark-skinned women specifically talk about colorism, we have to give them the space to let them express themselves because that's a topic that has been taboo for so long that we could not, me as a darker brown skinned woman who haven't been made fun of when it comes to colorism, could never understand. So we have to allow them the space to be able to express themselves. I have a lot more to say, but I'm gonna spin the block, so I yield for now.
All right, all right. I appreciate you, super villain. All right, let me go over here to Miss Simply.
Hey Trigger, hey y'all, hey panel.
Hey.
Yes, Trigger. I'm always grateful to catch one of your lives, and especially from the beginning. And I've been back and forth on TikTok today, just trying to see if I can, catch you and stuff like that. I think the last live I caught, it was like towards the end. So yeah, girl, I'm always grateful to catch one of your lives, and definitely just want to just come up here and just tell you how appreciative I am for your space and just grateful. And I'm like I said all the time, I'm on mostly on your YouTube sides, binging your videos and lives and stuff that you post on there. Just always grateful for your talking points and everything. Just so intelligent, especially like the ladies on your panel. Um, I like I said, I know when I jumped in, the lady that was in the comment section. Now I didn't want to um make it seem like I was agreeing with her. I mean, of course, like me being like a uh, fair skinned, lighter toned woman. Um, when she was talking about like, oh, light skinned women get bullied and things like that. I mean, like, yeah, like, I mean, we do, but it's not colorism like that. I cannot stand when I see people, what I'm saying, like make it seem like, oh, well, just because, some darker complected skinned woman maybe, bullying a lighter skinned woman, that's not colorism. And I'm passionate about that because I'm not gonna lie, growing up, I was definitely naive to colorism. Like, growing up in, the 90s or the 2000s or whatever, that wasn't really something that was spoke about or talked about or anything like that. Like when I was growing up, I didn't really like start like educating myself or learning about colorism until like I became an adult. Just to be completely honest with you, with the help of social media. So I mean, one thing that I can say from an honest heart, I have never bullied anybody that was a darker complexion than me. Um, However, I like looking back on like when I was younger, I have experienced like the being fetishized, I guess, for my skin complexion. Like I remember like my son's dad used to always, talk about like, oh, how like like my how I guess how light I am or whatever, or like I used to always get called light bright and yellow, whatever like that. But um and then even like with my damn TikTok handle, I've been thinking about changing it because I'm just like I don't want to give off that energy. But yeah, like, becoming an adult, like just looking back on things like um my oldest sister, we don't have the same father, but she used to bully the hell out of me as a child. And like me and my mom, like we are like a lighter, like fair skinned, but her and my older brother, my sister and my older brother are both darker complected, but we all have different fathers. And like I remember my sister used to always talk about like she used to actually fight my mom, like fist fight my mom. And then me and her would fight. I mean, I grew up in like a very dysfunctional household, like with me and my sister would fight all the time. And mind you, she's like 4 years older than me. We're not close in age. So you would think like the sibling rivalry thing wouldn't even pertain to us. Like we're not close in age. But anyway, I just remember how she used to always talk about like me and my mom think we all that and because we light skinned, da da da. And I can tell that it was like a coming from like maybe like I don't know, like a projecting or jealousy or whatever, because I've never done that. Like I was never a bully. I never bullied. Like if anything, I was the one getting bullied because of how small and slim and things like that. But I mean, again, I like I said, getting older, and just educating myself on like the whole topic. I don't play that crap. Like when I was younger, like with the men talking about like, oh, your skin complexion, da da da. I used to kind of find it cute. I'm not gonna lie, when I was younger, but as an adult, I don't play that crap. I don't. Like it wasn't really not too long ago where I was at a restaurant and I was by myself. I be going on solo dates. I'm gonna make this quick. I see I got 15 seconds left. But I was sitting like with a group of like some workers, like FedEx workers, and there was a woman, and she was sitting with two men, and she was like a darker complected woman. And I remember how they kept sitting there like trying to offer me drinks and talking about how pretty I am and just and then like talking to her like like trying to talk about her hair or her skin. And I was telling them like, no, like I'm not about to come in and engage in that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't play that. You know what I'm saying? I just remember me telling her how beautiful she was and things like that. I'm always praising darker complected women, and not even off no like trying to stroke nobody's ego or anything like that. I genuinely do find darker complected women beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like I always believe that the darker or the more melanated you are, the more closer you are to God. You know what I'm saying? Like how they say the darker the sweeter the berry, the darker the fruit, whatever that saying go, the darker the baby, the sweeter the juice. I do believe that. Um, I think the more closer to white, I think the closer you are to white proximity is like the more reptilianized you are. I hate to say, I know that's not a word, but um I don't know, but just a different perspective because I mean I'm not, I'm saying, like a darker complected woman, so I'm not gonna sit here and act like I can, like relate. But I will say that bullying a darker complected woman, like that's never, and I would never allow that around me at all. And I don't play that fetishizing crap with men at all. So
All right, all right, all right. I got you, Simply Caramel. All right, let me go down here to let's see here. I got I'm gonna set your timer. Yeah, you know, go ahead. Go ahead.
You could just call me Spider.
Okay, go ahead, Spider.
Um, yeah. So there's a big issue within the Black community about accountability, quote unquote. And I see a lot of Black men always talking about this theme of, giving Black women accountability for the Black community and da 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 and things of that nature. You know, but it gets to a point where we have to address the issue fully. If these women are being left alone to raise the kids by themselves, then that means someone is leaving them for dead. Someone is making these broken homes. And that's something I don't see a lot of men talk about, that they're part of that suffering. Um, what was I about to say? Also, if Black men were to actually compare themselves to non-Black men, it 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 just wouldn't be a good look for them. It simply wouldn't. It feels better for their ego to compete with their female counterparts, because if we and these are just simple statistics. The highest youth incarceration rate is Black men. The highest incarceration rate is Black men. Black men bring home the lowest amount of money. They have the lowest salary out of every other race. It's it's depressing to say. It's just depressing to say that not a lot of our brothers are thriving, and to feel powerful they have to address women. They have to make women take accountability. They have to make women feel lower than them. They have to make women feel bad for not dating their broke asses. They have to, because if they step into the real world of competition with their other male counterparts, they would feel small. Now, going into the topic of colorism, like Supervillain said, y'all have to let them say their truth. Stop trying to include your light skin, and I'm light skin, by the way, just in case y'all want to chime in or whatever. Y'all have to stop trying to give y'all experience how who they called you light bright. They was hating me because I was shut up. Make your own life about it. Okay, make your own life about it. Because this is the thing. Even if you were bullied for being light skinned, at one point you became the beauty standard. At one point you became the beauty standard. Because a lot of y'all young ladies are right. A lot of dark skinned men don't be going gaga crazy over dark skinned women compared to non-black women. I'll tell y'all the truth straight up. They just don't. They don't go gaga crazy. They see a woman with curls, they get feral. It's true. But what was I about to say? And this is my thing with dark skinned men too. And I am sure, dark skinned men went through colorism too by their peers, unfortunately, as well. But this is how it's different from a dark skinned woman's point of view. At one point, just like the light skinned woman, at one point, dark skinned men became the beauty standard. Y'all became a preference. Y'all became, as soon as light skin stopped became a trend in 2016, nobody cared about light skinned men and shit. Y'all became the preference. Like, I don't know. It's just like when a dark skinned man tries to compare his colorism experience with a dark skinned woman, as soon as it leaves the simple teasing, I tune out. I don't know. I'll
All
leave
right.
my
All right. Thank you so much, Spider. Gabrielle, you want to respond to him?
Yeah, I was just honestly, I was honestly like kind of cringing through what he was saying because to me it felt very performative, and like I just wondered if Spider, what he was saying, do you tell other men that? Because there have been men and other who have come in, triggers lives before, like very much seeming understanding of what we're talking about, but at this point it really just does give performative energy because it's like, are you saying this to other men? Like I've been on TikTok and I have come across men's pages where they are, you know, at least seeming to, push back against misogyny and like the things we're talking about, but they are directing their content towards other men. Like they have platforms that are like trying to reach other men or trying to reach boys who are going down the red pill pipeline. So like what Spider was saying, like I heard what he was saying, but I really was just like physically cringing because it just doesn't seem, sincere. Like we know, I'm sure everybody in this live knows what you're saying and he has heard what you're saying, but I think the true test of it is like, are you telling other men that like when these men go in red pill spaces, are colorists or like saying women, shouldn't vote or whatever, or, are, creating deep fakes of, women, are you telling other men that, because if not, it really is just performative. But that's just what I think. But yeah.
All right, Gabrielle. I think Deli Pooh wanted to say something also in response to Spider. Go ahead, Deli, and then we'll let Spider respond to y'all. Then we're
What
gonna stop talking about this because I really want to talk about the stats and black men comparing themselves to women and why that's grossly inaccurate. But go ahead, Deli.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to get on the topic because I wanted to clarify because simply Caramel was talking about her experience. And have I been bullied by light-skinned women? Of course. Have I ever disrespected them? No. Have I been bullied by dark-skinned men? Absolutely. Have I been bullied by light-skinned men? Absolutely. Does that take away from any of their things? So I don't know why you try to equate a non sequitur and sit there and say or try to bring up anybody else's story as if this is where I'm taking off of simply caramel. I'm not thinking about everybody else. She gave her truth and I'm going to sit there and be like, "Hey, I'll listen to you." And I'm not trying to hate on everybody else. You got a whole bunch of things that you need to deconstruct that you are going through and you're trying to push that off onto other people and I don't understand why, but continue on. I just wanted to say that it was very weird.
Can I please respond?
Yeah. I don't understand what's going on right now, but
I
I
don't
go ahead and
understand what's
respond
going on
simply,
either,
Carmel.
but yeah, I mean, just in case if you were, just to clarify, because clearly you need clarification. The reason why I said what I said was because when it came up on the live, I responded to that lady that was in the comment section, and she was talking about, oh, well, light skinned people get bullied too. And I know I responded to her in the comment section before I came up on the live, and
Yep.
I said, yeah, that may be true, but that is not colorism. I said what I said out of simply trying to, it was for educational purposes. Just for anybody who's listening who tries to make it seem like, oh, well, light skinned people get bullied too. Yeah, that may be true, but that is not colorism. And a lot of people try to make it seem like it is, and it's not. So that's the reason why I said what I said. And then I gave my own little anecdotal experience because I am not a dark skinned woman. So I can't, I'm not going to sit here and be disingenuous and act like I can relate. You know what I'm saying? I mean, now as a light skinned woman, if there was like a lighter complected woman who was lighter than me bullying me, then yes, maybe I can explain colorism. But as a light skinned woman, you know what I'm saying, and a dark skinned woman bullying me, that is not colorism. So that's the reason why I said what I said. It was strictly coming from an educational purpose. It was not trying to take away from nobody's experience. I love all black women. I think all shades of black women are beautiful, and specifically highly melanated women, because I do believe, which is my own personal belief, that the more melanated you have, the more melanin you have, the more closer to God you are. And I'm going to say that again, and I'm going to keep saying that again. I'm going to keep saying that again. So I'm not going to change my stance, but just for clarification, that's the reason why I said what I said. And no, and I've never ever, my right hand of God, have ever bullied a dark skinned woman. And I have never demonstrated colorism to anybody.
All
And so
right.
I'll
And I appreciate you, Simply Carmel. I think Supervillain has something to say to this. And then yeah, go ahead, Supervillain.
Yes, I just hopefully we can move past this. I just want to say for both the women, this is a space where you can say your piece and your story. I just want to end by saying maybe not on an individual level, however I feel it is an individual level. I'm just going to be completely honest, as living in America like under a patriarchy, just like how we have internalized misogyny, we do have internalized colorism because of where we are in America. We have all participated in colorism in one way or another. It may not have been a conscious or an intentional participation, but I'm going to just say this. It's like when white people say they're not racist. They may not intend to be racist, but they do benefit from racist culture, and that is a way of participating. I want to say we may not know when we're doing something the impact it has on another because we're not being intentional. But as a collective, I'm going to say it can't just be dark skinned people bullying dark skinned people, right? That wouldn't make sense. Everyone participated in colorism. And I'm gonna just end the day. It may not have been intentional. Again, you may not have wanted to participate, or you may have not realized your impact on doing something, but we have all participated in colorism, and it's not our fault. We grew up in a racist country where color is a thing. But I just want to say that because when we say I didn't participate, it's almost like when men say I've never harmed a woman, but men can still be misogynist, right? It's almost like when white people say, well, I'm not racist, but you're a white person in America. It may not be intentional. Again, the impact may not be intentional, but we have some way or another, subconsciously or not, participated. But I hear both of the women's stories, and I'm just sad that that we all have to experience this at the end of the day. I yield.
All right, all right. I just wanted to say that I know Simply Carmel is very very nice woman, and I know that she really loves black women, and I know that anything, if you guys took anything offense to what she was saying, I know she definitely didn't mean anything in a negative way. She's really a kind person, but I'll just say that this is the reason why, like, because I've had a lot of black women send me emails and ask me to discuss colorism. But I really try to stay away from colorism conversations, not because I don't realize the impact or the harm that it has caused and affected many of my sisters that I love. It's just because I find that I am very ill equipped to handle the dynamics between black women when they relay their pain, because a lot of times then black women may have misunderstandings, or then they may go against each other or whatever, and my intent is always to do things that will bring us together, even if we can join up together, you know what I'm saying, on a situation of we all say we don't like these suckers, right? If we could even join on that one, unite on that one front. I try to do things to where we can talk about things that are like united, that we can you know what I'm saying. Deli Pooh, I'll tell you, I think I remember seeing you, but to be honest with you, there are a lot of ladies that come like a lot. Like they'll be in
No,
like
no,
every
I was
live
just
or
making fun
every
because
other
I
live.
said, "How dare you?" No,
Oh,
it
I'm
was
so
just,
sorry.
I'm just playing,
Oh,
girl.
okay, I'm
Because
sorry. I
I'm
was
like,
like, I'm
"How
sorry.
dare
It's
you
just
do
like it's
this?"
yeah, it's like a
I've
lot
been
of
here
women
so many times and you didn't hear me.
that yeah, I'm so
It's a funny
sorry.
joke. I swear to God, it is just a joke. I don't mean it. I don't take it to the heart. It's just hilarious to say. Okay.
But yeah, but I just wanted to say, yeah, I just want us to come together at the end of the day. And I know that sometimes we do have to have hard discussions and hard talks, but I will say that is why I do stray a little bit away from the topic of colorism because of that. Because I don't want anyone to be mad or anyone to think that I'm ever trying to, and then yeah, y'all get what I'm saying. But let this person Spider speak first, T, because I think he wanted to respond, and then after that, we're gonna get back to the topic at hand. Go ahead, Spider.
Yeah, so I like debating. I like having conversations. Yes, I've had conversations with red pill men. Yes, I've had discussions with them about this stuff and try to, change their point of view or try to, prove that their ideology is flawed. But nonetheless, yeah, I don't know why it's perceived as what did she say? Performative, because I'm passionate about a topic. And honestly, if you were a dude, you would say I'm pandering. So that was kind of rude.
I think it's the point of that maybe you are pandering. Maybe they think that you're pandering to the women in here. I'm not for sure, but I do find it weird when like men come in spaces where women are and say things that like women already know. Like when you said like how women are doing this and that, and how men are doing this and that. Like we already know that, so it's like we don't need you to tell us that. You know what I'm saying? You'd be better served than going in the male space and trying to inform them of how they need to change. I think that's where the ladies are coming from, because it's like you coming to tell women. It's like if I go into a space of, I don't know, doctors and try to tell them about like heart surgeons, and I try to tell them about heart surgery, and I make it like I'm giving them something. They're looking at me like, we already know all of this. What is your modus operandi in telling us? You know what I'm saying? I think that's what the issue is.
is this not an open discussion? Like I thought this was
This isn't a
open.
discussion for dudes, okay? Like, if you don't see that everybody on this panel has a vagina except for you, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you know that it's not an open discussion with you by disconnecting you and kicking you off. Like, nobody cares about your perspective. Nobody wanted to hear what you had to say. You didn't even say anything that was groundbreaking or insightful to anybody on here. All you did is regurgitate all of the things all of the ladies already said. And I think that's the reason why nobody wanted to hear y'all. And that's my thing, is so many of y'all think that y'all are intellectual, but y'all really do nothing but regurgitate the things that black women have already said 50 million years ago. Get up on the time, step your cookies up, homie. So yeah, nobody wants to hear you regurgitate things that you heard from all of us. You know what I'm saying? You need
No,
to
the
take
thing.
that to the least educated group and the least enrolled in college. Go take that to your peoples. That's your peoples over there that do that. So you need to go take that so-called pseudo education that you have, take it over there to them, sir. But let me go down here to T. T, you had something to say, bro.
Yeah. No, because it's so funny. Like when he said, "I like the," I wasn't here when he was talking earlier. I was busy with with my other baby, with my baby. So yeah, so whatever. Who cares? Anyways,
I
moving on.
mean, you know what,
Um,
T? They always think that when they come over and say anything remotely positive or remotely affirming to black women, that black women are gonna be like,
oh my God, take
oh,
your drawers off. Oh my
oh,
God, take your drawers off, ladies. Throw it at him. Oh my God,
yes,
he's
yes,
a big red pill man. Oh my
yes.
God, like who gives a flying fuck? Like that you gay red pill men. You're acting like red pill men are the only douchebags. There's plenty of douchebags that's out here that not do not call themselves red pill. Like seriously, that does not mean a flickety fluck thing. Moving on. Moving on. So about the, I'm just gonna say one comment about the colorism stuff, and not for nothing, Trick. I was gonna say that I was gonna say I don't have much of an opinion about colorism because if I'm gonna be honest with you, and it's also piggyback what my girl Supervillain said that. I'm a participant in colorism, but not in the way that I think. Like, basically, like as far as like let's just say the discussion of preference and everything. When I hear men talking about, oh, I don't like dark skinned women, I'll be like, well, I don't like light skinned men. And the reason why I know for a fact I participate in the colorism because it took me to be mature and actually think about how the way my thought process was, and I think it came from 1990s like TV shows and music videos that like light skinned men were perceived to be pretty boys. And me personally, I do not like pretty boys. I don't like light skinned men because I look at them as pretty boys and I like masculine men. I like masculine looking men. And it was that was like that was like ignorance growing up in like in the 90s that if you're light skinned, you're a pretty boy. And that was just not something I was into even growing up. Even to this day, it still affect me because if a dude that's light skinned try to talk to me, I'll go, eh, eh, eh. I've dated light skinned men, but the first man that I will look at is like a brown skin or a darker man than myself. So if people want to say like, yeah, like that's still colorism, I can admit that. All right, sure, it affected me, and it also affected the way that I dated. Sure, okay, I can admit to that. I can concede to that. That's why when it comes to this talk, I'm like, I have no dog in it because in a way I participated in not doing anything to women, but I participated in how the way I moved towards men. So yeah, so that was my little confession when it came to that part. That's what, like, if anybody ever catch me on another panel saying like funny stuff, like for instance I say my ex, right? My ex, before I met my son's father, that he would go to the basketball court or whatever, right? And I would make fun of him and say, "Don't do no light skin shit while you out there." And he said, "Like what?" I said, "Like catching a basketball with your mouth and shit. Don't be licking your lips out in the basketball court." And then he was, "Oh fuck you," like we make jokes like that. And yeah, I've definitely have so yeah, so yeah, y'all can, anyone feel free to get mad. I'm being completely honest. Just like my girl Supervillain said, it have affected us. And I would be lying if I come up here and be like, oh, yeah, colorism. Oh, no. And I did participate in that. So I didn't want to make it seem like I'm a hypocrite or something like that.
All right. I appreciate you, T. All right, let me go over here. I think Deli Pooh says she has something to say, and then I'm gonna go to I can't with coffee. Can't without coffee. Go ahead, Deli Pooh.
Oh no, I can go first. I'll wait. I've been talking too much anyway.
You sure?
I can wait. I love what T said, and she kind of like literally said what I wanted to say. I wanted to elaborate, but I can't. They can go first.
Okay. All right then. I'll go down here to I can't without a coffee. Go ahead. You there? Let me turn your mic on and send you a request to turn your mic on. Are you there?
All right, can you hear me, lady?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, wonderful. Good evening, Triggered, and good evening, panel.
Hey.
So, my profile name is I Can't Without Coffee, but my name is Lakeisha. So, just a few quick thoughts about the prompt. I don't know if we're still in the colorism thing, but this is towards the prompt. I want to add that Black men compete with Black women. One of the reasons, they can't compete, but then number two, they admire and they aspire to white men. And they also expect and use Black women in particular to help recoup their sense of manhood that was, quote unquote, taken by white men. And also, with men in general being homosocial, and Black men are no different, they aspire to align with other men over women. So, and Black men are no different, in my opinion. And in addition to enough Black men blaming their moms for their dads not being there, or their moms birthing them into poor, disadvantaged situations for those that it apply to. And we know that's dad's fault too, but everything's a Black woman's fault. So, um, and that mistreatment of Black women in general and darker Black women in particular helps them psychologically, in my opinion, psychologically distance themselves from their own reality, which is their own Blackness. And in that, and I'm saying that because I think enough Black men blame their moms for birthing them Black. They would have rather been white men or any other race. And of course, enough, they're Black, their fathers are Black too, but again, we Black, we get blamed for everything. So in that mistreatment of Black women in general, darker Black women in particular, I think it helps them mentally distance themselves from being Black. I don't know how that works, but that's just my theory. And also, like white women, as you all know, Black men don't mind white male patriarchy. They enjoy the amenities of it, actually, including sexual access to white women, non-Black women. Otherwise, they would go to WAR with YT men, like other groups of men have went to war with each other ever since the beginning of time, but they won't do that because, again, I think they're scared of YT men, in addition to wanting to be like them. And also, they would lose access to YT women. That's my theory. And so instead of that, they would just rather mimic YT men in their attempt to feel a semblance of the power that they think that white men have, that unquestioned power. And they act like that when dealing with us Black women. And what I like to call those particular Black men, I like to call them Timu white men, or whitey men from Wish. So, in that, I land my plane.
All right. I appreciate you. I can't without coffee. I just wanted to say, has anybody seen that video of that Black man is sitting there in front of the white man saying that he wouldn't have went with Harriet Tubman because he would have just been cool with, just like he wasn't gonna get beat because he was just gonna keep his mouth shut, because a lot of Black people was running their mouth, and how many like slaves did what's her ratio of getting slaves to freedom. That's what he would have had to ask Harriet Tubman. And I'm just sitting there looking at this black man literally just be like a straight up bed buck in front of this white man, and this white man is just looking at him like he's flabbergasted. And like y'all really don't understand when I see black men do these things. Like, it is so deeply unsettling for me, because, and it's only unsettling because no matter what we do, we're still looked as black people instead of like black men and black women, like there's a separation. I wish for the life of me that we could have some situation where there could be a split in what people perceive us to be. They perceive black women as a separate entity and black men as a separate entity. Because anytime people talk about, like, you know how people say that thing about the usual suspects, or, you know, look at these people committing the majority of the crime. Now, I know all of that stuff is racist dog whistles, and I get that. But even the fact that they are able to say anything is rooted in the fact that it's black men doing even these little bit of things that they're talking about. And if we were not included in a lot in sharing in this simply because we were black, there would be so much of an easier way for black women to move in this world, I think. And it's very upsetting, because I'm not saying that I haven't seen any black women that have tap danced or acted crazy or did something that was like Uncle Ruckish like, but I will say that the percentage of black women is very small compared to every day you're seeing a black man act like he's completely conquered. And you're just like, whoa, you really said this out in public? You really said this around the white tees? Like, I just can't even. It's so embarrassing, man. It's even like Charlemagne. You know how he has that podcast that he has with the racist white tee man? Like, and how people just accept it. Like, it's like the world just accepts black men being like raccoons. And, you know, we have to look like that just by our mere association with them. If you get what I mean. Like, it's I don't know, it's ridiculous, and I can't take it. I can't take it. um let's see, there are two people wanted to speak. All right, I'll give you guys 2 minutes because I got a full house here and I got two people waiting in the queue. I'll give you guys all 2 minutes. Go ahead, Deli.
To talk about what you were talking about is it's so how I was talking about earlier, how they had opened the doors to give leeway to everybody and a mama, right? So they would let the Latinos, the Asians, the other white team men, the all of these people in there, and they literally fought us because we were ghetto, we were loud, we were bitter, we were hoodlums, we were all of these Section 8 queens and all of that stuff. Y'all just hating because she prettier than you. She looked like she's at the, never mind. But they wanted to sit there and do that. But now that the house is full and their quote unquote sexual appeal has gone down, they're like, oh no, I face colorism. They would sit there and still kiki with the people that want to degrade us and say, I remember there was this little Asian boy, and I was like, you shouldn't even be talking because your pitty wacky is still the length of my dang gone pinky finger. That's embarrassing. But he's like, oh, I can't be with them because, I don't know if they have a big garage or what have you. And you have some black man next to him, or an African, like next to him, say like, oh yeah, that's crazy and all that stuff. They would literally give them big ups. And now all of a sudden they want to be a victim of a situation they caused. It's literally embarrassing at this point. But then they want to sit there and talk down to us, disrespect us, because that is the patriarchy at work, as long as I'm a man. Because I remember when we started about like protesting about, hey, women get to vote and all that stuff, because they did men first. And we voted for everybody to have a voice and things like that, including black men. They didn't care. They left us behind just like the white tees. So I don't trust them.
All right, I got you, Deli. All right, let me go down here to Supervillain. She had to say something. She need to say something. Go ahead, sis.
Yes, I didn't see that video. Sidebar, Harriet Tubman is my favorite American hero. She is literally the epitome of superwoman, and I don't know why we don't make that correlation, but I just love Harriet Tubman's story. I'm gonna say this, and T can back me up. Trig, we were on a live one day, and a black man with his whole chest triggered said that marriage during slavery was a lot better because black women knew their place. That's what he said. He said during a time where another man can come in and grape your wife, that marriages among black people were the best during that time. This is their pathology. I also want to say, I'm telling you today, what's the date today? The 29th? Mark today in a good, I'm going to give it 5 years, but I'll say 5 to 10 years. Black men are going to be telling the history of slavery like it was a one-way tourist trip to the Americas for African people, because they are so ashamed that they were conquered and bent over. They will start lying about the history of slavery. I'm telling you, in 5 to 10 years, they're going to say that slavery was a one-way expedition trips to the Americas just to save face. It's unbelievable how delusional these men are. And I'm sorry, for a man to say that marriage was the best when you could literally have your wife, your child raped right in front of you, and you could do nothing. You could be raped yourself. Let's not forget, because they love to leave that part out, that they were also being bent over. I yield. I'm gonna drop for space. I'll come back.
Alrighty. I appreciate you, super villain. I'm gonna go up here to Gabrielle.
Yeah, I really do think agree with a lot of what Supervillain said. I think she made a lot of great points, and I really do think, at the end of the day, as far as the prompt goes, like they are, going to continue to compare themselves to women. It's much easier for them to do that and to degrade women than to actually work on themselves as men. That will require, gumption and, being intelligent, being strategic, and not just like leeching off women or like siphoning our energy. So I really do think that unfortunately it's not going to change what we're seeing with BOK men and men in general. I also think, as I was mentioning like in the chat with like red pill and all that stuff, it's going to get worse. Mr. Clean, the comment said comparing what exactly to women, comparing your standing in society to women. Like you guys are not comparing yourselves to other men, and it's blatantly obvious the way you talk in red pill, the way you talk on social media, period. Like it's very obvious. And you guys know what you're doing because you openly brag about this stuff, but then you come in women's spaces and act like you don't know. You guys are constantly comparing yourselves to women economically when it comes to jobs, when it comes to perceived actual marketplace value, but you're not comparing yourselves to other men. And it's very clear to see, and the entire world knows why. Okay. So you don't know what we're talking about here. Yeah, exactly. Simply Carmel, they do throw stones and hide their hands. Like I've been in spaces, I am online more often than not, and I see how men talk, and I don't know if they think that women can't see what they're posting or can't, see their videos. I don't know what they have going on, but we see what they are saying. We see what BLK men and men in general are saying and how they're comparing themselves to women. So my timer is running out, but yeah, I mean, it's very obvious.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, anytime you hear black men talk about finances, you hear them talk about education, you hear them, like you said, talk about sexual marketplace value or attractiveness. Anything that black men have, they only ever compare themselves to black women. They never, ever compare themselves to white men. When you hear black men talk about wealth, they don't say, hey, let's put up the cash. Let's put up our amount of cash what we got compared to the white man. They never do that. They just start hooting and hollering and crying about how the white T man won't let them make any money. And then when you talk about incarceration, they'll be like, oh well, black women do crimes too. They never compare themselves to the white man, and they'll just be like, no, the white man is imprisoning us. It's not our fault. There's no stats ever that exist where black men actually compare themselves to other men, because they would lose every time. And to be honest with you, even the stats that they weaponize against black women are, if you look at it on the flip side, it's always them. Like I told you guys earlier in the live with Saul Camaro or whatever, where he was talking about how black women, have a high income ratio, and he was talking about their weight and all of these different things, and retirement funds. And I looked up everything that he said, and everything that he said, black men also on the male side are the lowest. So it's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, Mr. Clean says, okay, well, have a great evening. You have no choice but to tell us to have a great evening, because nothing that you're saying can stand up to the facts that we said. But let me go down here to Simply Caramel, then T, and then Jazz Doll. And make sure I give everybody 2 minutes so everybody get a chance to speak.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes, somebody's probably reporting. Let me go ahead and block if it's breaking up. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
go
I'm in
ahead,
my car.
Simply.
I just wanted to. Yeah, I'm in my car. I'm on my Bluetooth. I just wanted to make sure y'all hear me. But yeah, like even when the thing is that it's the fact that as women we are currently fighting for our rights. I mean, we've been right, we've been fighting for equal rights, right? And it's like they take it as if like, okay, we're fighting for equality, so we must be trying to compete with the men. And it's like, no, it's not. Like it's the lack of education or like willful ignorance at this point, because why do they keep conflating the fact that we're fighting for equal pay, which we still don't have, right? We're fighting for equal pay, we're fighting for equality, for the job markets and things like that, and just to be treated as human beings with value. And they're just they conflate that with the fact that we are trying to compete. Like, I'm even hearing men talk about, oh, women, once we were able to join the workforce and things like that, like we have we have like damaged the economy or something like that. And it's just like, how the heck? It really just comes down to the fact that they don't want us to have a sense of autonomy. They don't want us, because and even us BOK women, we are steady rising. Even with not having the 100% equality, even with not having equal pay and things like that, we are still rising. We are still, majority of us are head of households. We are taking care of everything. We're carrying, what I'm saying, the community on our back. So it's like, I feel like it may be like, yes, like they are, comparing themselves or whatnot, but I just feel like it's because of, it's the fact that they don't want to rise, right? They don't want to rise, and they want to keep us down right along with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. And it's just like how YT people, you know what I'm
Got you
saying?
a
Like,
minute.
with sorry. And it's just like with YT people, like, them creating a system to keep the BOK community down. But but we're rising, at least the BOK women, right? But we're rising above. They can't keep us down, so now they have turned to trying to play the victims. You know what I'm saying? They be Karens towards us, but then they throw the stones, hide their hands, and then now they try to make it seem like we're being arsists to them, because I'm not sure if I can say the word, but now they're throwing out, oh, now BOK people are being arsists to them. And it's like, that, how can that be? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not even ter- you know that's not even the right terminology. Like, we cannot be artists to them, right? Because the way the system of things are set up. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
All right, all right, all right. I got you, Simply Caramel. All right, let me go down here to Miss T Scorpio, and then I'll go up here to Jazz Doll and Simma. Go ahead, T Scorpio. How you doing?
Yeah, good, good, good. Well, actually, it's so funny. Me and Supervillain was having this conversation about, women's liberation movement and everything. As me and Supervillain be saying on different platforms, we don't want equal rights to men. We actually want accommodations, and if I dare to say, privileges than men. Because, like, simply like healthcare, for instance, our bodies are different. We got menstrual cycles. We have to give birth. We have to go to like gynecologists and stuff like that. Like, I don't want equal rights to men. Can you hear me? Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't stand that when that pops up on my phone. Yeah, like I don't want equality to men, especially I do not want equality to black men because let's keep it a buck and let's be honest, black men don't have no power in this country. They have no power, no say so, no nothing. So they don't even really affect us as much as they affect us just culturally. If we was to cut off black men, it's really not that difficult. It's just the system that's put in place is more dangerous, I would say, with black than dealing with black men because, like I said, black men don't have no power. They make us they oppress the fees and ideas. They do not oppress us systematically like the so-called YT man. Because, like so because who's the one giving us the pay? The YT man, like and stuff like that in healthcare, education, and all of those things. They don't they really don't hold no weight to that, honestly speaking. So when it comes to, of course, black men compare themselves to us because of the fact that they don't have no power. Who else they're gonna look down to? Who else they're gonna bully? Who else? It's us. So that it makes sense why they compare themselves to us, because if you look at just in all the statistics that you be mentioning all the time, Trigger, who are they beating? Nobody. They're not beating no one. Black women are the ones that's dominating the workforce, being told that we make the best leaders and everything else, where black men are left behind, way behind. And that's really mainly they focus and they argument when it comes to us is that they don't want us to leave them behind. And that's really all simple as that. They think by getting on the white team man's talking points that's supposed to sway us to turn around and say, "Don't worry, black man, we're gonna take you with us." That is the fear that black men have, that we are coming up in the world and we're gonna say, "Well, just take care of us and leave black men out of it." And not for nothing, I'm down for that. If I really want to go there, I am down with that. I want a hate crime bill only for black women. If you harm a black woman or black child, that should be considered a hate crime, and they should suffer, the consequences for that. No matter what race you are, you harm a black woman and a black child, that is considered to be a hate crime.
All right, all right, all right. I definitely agree with you, T. Never mind. I have something to say in response to what you said. Like I definitely agree, but I'll just keep going that way. Everybody can still get a chance to talk because I still got somebody else waiting in the queue. Let me go up here to Jazz Doll and then Sema. Hey, how you doing, Jazz Doll?
Hey, what's going on? Okay, so black men always compare themselves to women and not men. Absolutely. Here's the thing. It's very strategic, and I tip my hat to black men for being able to successfully manipulate black women into this type of thing. Because here's the thing, black men spend a lot of time on social media comparing black women to other races of women. They more feminine, they more submissive, feminine, fit, and friendly, and these women overseas make better wives than y'all. And yet they have controlled us into not comparing them to other races of men. Now, off top, black men have a defeated spirit, so they're never going to compare themselves to other races of men because they're not dumb. They know they're losing. Hell, they're losing to black women as well. However, they have mind controlled us for so long to where we don't even compare our stats to them, but they will. And when they compare their stats to us, they misread those stats and think they're beating us. I mean, the biggest stat that they misread was that the CDC say we the most involved fathers. And when you go read that statistic, it doesn't even say that, right? But anywho, it just goes to show the level of illiteracy, self-hate, and manipulation that they have. So, they're never going to compare themselves to other races of men because they're defeated. And they don't mind being defeated because they're comfortable, right? The only thing that they are in constant war with is keeping the black woman's mind controlled and focused on him. I'm going to land here. If black women were to dissolve themselves of black men, we would skyrocket in society as a group of women. I land there.
Alrighty. I definitely agree with you, Jazz Doll. I do think that black men have managed the art of triangulation in a way that black women don't seem to be able to do. But I also think that the reason why black men are able to be more successful in that endeavor is because black women still care about black men deeply. And I do not believe that the collective of black men love black women in that way. So it's difficult to get a group of men to care about what you're doing if they don't care about you in the first place. It's the same how it goes with like the men that say all this crazy stuff to me on my lives, like, and they expect me to be affected by it. If I don't care about you and I don't care about your opinion, or I think you're stupid, or I think you're irrelevant, it doesn't matter what you say to me. It doesn't matter if you call me ugly. It doesn't matter if you say this, that, and the third. I could care less because I don't care about you. So things, for me personally, things that people say to me that they don't matter to me, it doesn't mean anything. And I think that that's what happens with black men. But I do think that they have managed to manipulate black women the same way that black men can run up here and tell black women a million different ways on how they don't like nappy hair, they don't like wigs, they don't like weaves, they don't like lashes, they don't like dark skin, they don't like anything about black women. And they can say this publicly and still be looked at as the most positive black, pro-black Negro of all time, and not ever once be called a coon for that type of. If a black woman even is as little as looks at a white T man or a non-black man, she's all type of bad wenches. Right now, this is happening actively to Taylor Swift, right? Now, he been broke up from that black girl that he dated, I forgot her name, for a long time now. It's literally been years. Yet black men are flooding this girl comments, called dogging her out, saying all type of things out of pocket. And her only crime was that she dated a white man. Now, how many times have things happened disastrously between black men and non-black women? A million different times, but you never hear anything about them. But they're calling this lady all type of bad wenches and all of that. And I wanted to say something else, is that I do think that a lot of black women, oh, is it skipping, y'all? Hold on. Let me see if there's some dudes here in the chat. Hold on. Because a lot of times that happens.
I think you just having a bad connection or whatnot. But I've definitely seen what you're talking about. The crazy part about it, I've seen more YT men saying he fumbled the black chick, the black girl, more than I see the black men defending her. That's the craziest part about it. But I also agree with you, Trigger, because black men will give, and this is why we gotta hold our sisters accountable. A black man will give 100 reasons why he don't date black women, and black women will hear this and give you 100 reasons why she can only date black men. When you do that, you are giving him the power. You are telling the black man, it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter how you degrade me, it doesn't matter how you tear me down, it doesn't matter what name you call me, you can cheat on me, abuse me, you can do all those things. I'm still, when I get back up, I'm still going to choose you. And when you do that, you are telling the black man he can do no wrong in your eyes. And this is why we sit up and we call them kings. This is why we sit up and say God is a black man, Jesus is a black man. We do this, and we have put them in a pedestal. We have pedestalized black men in our community, and these are monsters of our own making.
You know what? It's so crazy that you say that, Jazz Doll. Like, honestly, it really is, because I was getting ready to say that black women have been emotionally manipulated by black men to prove their worth. And I'm gonna give y'all, like, I'm really not trying to be messy, man. I'm just gonna say it's a black lady, right, that was in my lives all the time, like talking so much stuff about black men. And it's really two of them, but I'm not even gonna say their names. Two of them. One of them I just saw recently up in Saul Camaro's live, telling him how she's not this, just today, telling him about how she's not the type of black woman that he's talking about, and there are some black women that are doing this, that, and the third. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why are you trying to prove your worth to this man that already feels like you are worthless? It doesn't make any sense. I unblocked this man to go look on his page. He got all of these pictures and videos of black women. He picks the worst examples of black women of all time. Black women that maybe got some type of crazy outfit on or acting out of pocket or whatever to make them the representative of all black women. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what would make you as a black woman really want to prove yourself to a man that is not even worth anything? Unless you have been seriously emotionally damaged. Then it's another black woman that I promise you, man, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. She speaks so harsh against black men and men in general. Every day talking about, oh, I'm going to do this to a man, that and the third to a man. I don't play this to a man. I don't do this. But then you will see on the low, she be in men's faces, posting pictures of her butt crack, doing all of this stuff. And I really wish that black women would get a grip. You know what I'm saying? Like, or also she be saying she be following black men, listening to black men, trusting in black men.
I think I know who you're talking about.
And it's so weird to me. Like, what is the purpose in all of
Yep.
this if you're saying all of this? And that is the reason why black men do not take black women seriously, because a lot of the black women that talk the most trash, that say they standing on business, you find out behind the scenes, them girls be on their hands and knees begging for respectfully a nigga's attention. And that to me is so crazy and backwards. I just don't even know. I can't even tell you how many black women that I've had to block for that type of behavior. And I really, I told my husband about it, and I was like, I wanted to do like a list, but I don't be trying to embarrass black women, so I don't even be saying nothing about it. I just leave them alone, and I just keep going. But I just know that I find it very weird when black women come up here and talk about how I don't take no mess off of black men. I don't take no mess off of men. I'll smack you in your face. I'll do this. I'm the And then I see you asking for cookies from men, or you having men on your platform that I know for a fact have troubled histories on doing things to black women, cussing out black women, talking badly to black women. It's so weird to me. And until black women get on board and of one accord and stop doing that, nobody's going to take us seriously. Because why would they? Why would they? If you still give them the draws and you still let them be in your spaces, what you say doesn't mean anything. And I think that's the difference between like men and women, is that women go off what they hear, and they shouldn't, but they go off what they hear, and they don't go off actions. They will lie to themselves about a man's actions and say, oh, his actions, that's not what he really meant. However, men don't care about nothing that you say. All they care about is the actions that you show. So if you tell him, oh, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I ain't never gonna talk to you again, but you let him come in there and get in them guts, he not going to believe nothing that you're saying. He not going to believe anything because your actions are showing differently. And I wish that black women will understand that right there. Stand on business, for God's sake, because it's getting to the point to where I can't even almost take it and not spill out some of the craziness that I see. Like, it's like, and so much of the hypocrisy. Like, it's so many black women that I have really thought were really like about black women. And then I have seen like, oh my God, no, you're not. And I don't even say nothing, y'all. Never mind. I don't even say nothing.
You know what? Let me say this. I think I know you're talking about. I'm not gonna say no names, but I called her out, and I told her I called her out. I said you create these prompts to provoke black men, but you really want their attention, because a lot of times when they come on your panel, they're the ones who expose that you're sliding in their DMs, right? And so because I called her out, she blocked me. I'm no longer on her panel, and I was like fan favorite over there. The crazy part about it, but that's because I called her out. And what you're saying is so true. Black men have black women in a choke
hold. And that's scary to me because black women are black women, we love to say we the most educated. That's true. Black women want to say we entrepreneurs, we homeowners, we doing in every aspect of life, black women are kicking behind. But when it comes to their love life, that self-esteem is in the devil's basement. And that scares me because black men don't deserve this type of loyalty. The loyalty that black women are giving black men is one-sided. And that black man has said here, I mean, we literally had a black man say, I would rather F a YT dog than touch a black woman. It's so many instances where black men have publicly bashed us, like you said, the black man sitting in front of the YT man talking about how giving stipulations on Harriet Tubman. I've seen plenty of stuff. I don't work. I'm a stay at home house girlfriend until I'm getting married in 19 days. I look at a lot of silly stuff, y'all, like Jerry Springer and shows where black men are sitting in even if the show is fake, that makes it even worse, right? You have black men going on Jerry Springer's show, even though this is some years ago. Oh, Jerry, I don't date black women, but I cheated on my beautiful, gorgeous YT girlfriend with this big, fat, blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking at like, where was black women at? And now, let me give one more serious one. When you had people like Herb Belafonte, who marched on Selma with Martin Luther King, but every wife he had was YT. When you have all of these different instances, look at Jamie Foxx, look at Shannon Sharp, look at all of these black men who've rooted and dedicated themselves to YT women, and black women still give them loyalty. Chris Brown won't touch a sister, and yet them black women, he got black women in a chokehold. And that is scary to me. Mario, the singer, just finna have a baby with him, a YT woman. And I'm just like, how much more do black men have a bullhorn in their hand and they're standing on the tallest building in the city and they're yelling out, I hate you, black woman. I can't stand you, black women. Everybody under the sun is better than you. And black women are still like, it's not all black men. I love my black men. I know my daddy, my brother, my son, my nephew, he a good black man. And I'm going to have me one. And this is generational. This is our generational curse. Because they have us in a chokehold. And as soon as I'm going to land here, and as soon as we come up out of it, you will see a shift in how black women are treated, because part of our disdain in this society is because of them.
Sorry about that. I was talking and I was muted, y'all. Sorry about that. I appreciate you, Jazz. I'm gonna go down here to T Scorpio, and then I'm gonna go up here to Delhi because that was the next people that wanted to speak. Go ahead, T. I'll try to give everybody 2 minutes because once again we still got a full house, y'all. You there, T? Let me send a request to turn your mic on. Can y'all hear me or can y'all hear T?
Hear you.
You, but I think
I
she's still
can't
on
hear
mute.
T.
Yeah, I
Okay,
can't
T
hear.
might be having some type of problem. So I'll just go up here. I'll enter timer and I'll go up here to Delhi first, and then I'll go back down to T. Go ahead, Delhi.
Beat my behind. I just find it very sad. And no, I'm not pandering. When y'all tell me to do, like when y'all say, "Hey, this one had it," I don't need to ask no questions. I'm like, if she's a black woman, oh, I'm riding for her, right or wrong. I do not care. When they say some off the wall or something I can get with, oh, I'm blocking you. You're invited to the block party. I do not care. But the thing is that it's very hurtful when they decide that they wanted to get with the patriarchy and they want to sit there and be like, well, at least I'm not a woman. So they decide to punch down. Like, that's the hurtful thing, because I'm like, I love me some mine. And it's just like for you to separate yourself or to try and distinguish yourself away from us. And I forgot, I think it was like Super, if I'm not mistaken, sweetheart. It was like, I can even give you a perfect example. Black Panthers. My grand left from there. And because they had to move to Illinois sorry, Wisconsin, but they went to Chicago because that was only 45 minutes away. She figured out how everything worked and she was like, don't you ever trust them. They was going through but we were going through a whole list of things. And instead they decide to make their sexuality above everything and disrespected the woman there. They have degraded us too many times. And I am so like, it's, I'm so sorry, but it's just disheartening. But I'll never give them grace. Absolutely not. Oh, I'm done.
All right, all right. I appreciate you, Deli. Let me see here. I'm gonna go to because we got a full house. I can't remember where I started. Gabrielle, did you have anything to say? Because if I'll go to you first and then Supervillain and then Chilotam. Or was it T? Oh no, right. It was T. It was T. It was T.
It was
Okay,
T. Yeah.
okay, go ahead, T, if you're there, sis. You there, T?
Yeah, I was here. My niece just got her hair done, so we're just looking at her hair. So skip me for now. Skip me.
Okay, okay. Ain't nothing better than getting your hair done when you little. I promise you. Even when you get older too. But I'm just saying, when you little boy, you be feeling like, you all that in a bag of chips. All right. I think Supervillain, you said you want to go. Okay. So I'll go to you, Supervillain, then Gabrielle, and then Chilotam. Cause I'll just wrap up the live anyway. Cause I feel like we probably said all we have to say. Cause I really wanted to, in my opinion, I would love to have a debate with a man that has these stats that Saul was having. That way that I can correct them in real time and and tear them to pieces in real time, and they can find out that everything they believe about what they believe is wrong and inaccurate. But let me go over here to Supervillain, then Chilotam, and then Gabrielle.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna end with this because that person, that human being, again, I just want to remind any woman that comes in contact with him, he is a man fighting identity crisis, specifically his sexuality. If you can't tell that, I don't know what. I got a bridge in Brooklyn for sale if you want it. That man is definitely having mental health issues, and I don't particularly go back and forth with the crazies. Um, I'll say this. Earlier, Jazz, I love when you do your commentary. At one point, you said they're doing a great job with the manipulating. I mean, I'm going to take away from that because at this point, and this is where I hold my sisters accountable because we're the only ones who can, it's not even manipulation anymore. When we have women actively bringing felons into their home, there is no excuse to me for that unless he went to jail for protesting like Martin Luther King Jr., I don't understand how y'all accept the felons in your home, but the math doesn't make sense. With the comparison thing, I agree with everything everyone has said. They cannot compete with other men. That's why they don't, except for crazy because they know how to compete with other men when it comes to a D-measuring contest. By the way, y'all, I've been a nurse for the past 10 years. It's a myth. I've seen a lot of peen in different colors come in all different sizes. It's a myth. It's not something that is mandatory for all black men. So we have to start telling the truth. Because we're the one who I feel like perpetuated that myth. It's a lie, and we have to start telling the truth about it. But damn, I had something I wanted to say, but I forgot. But I'm gonna just end by saying what I always say: Black women, wherever you are, if you feel that little tinkle in your heart, that is me reaching out because one thing I'm gonna do is love a black woman. Everything good in my life has been attached to a black woman. Black woman, you're beautiful. Your only sin is that you are the farthest proximity to white teeness, and that's how we like it. And that's how we're gonna stay. Trig, I'm gonna always thank you for creating this space where black women can just be. I know we get a little spicy. We fight, we argue, but at the end of the day, we are black women and we understand this is a space where we can be. Y'all get her to the light she deserves. This is the one place on TikTok where Black women can just be. Thank you so much, Trig, panelists, those in the comment. Y'all all have a great day, night, or whatever you're doing. Be great at it. Thank you, Trig.
No problem, sis. No problem, supervillain. It's always great to have you. And I did want to say, when Jazz Doll was talking about whoever the person was that she used to be on the panel with or whatever, what's sad is that I don't even know if we talking about the same two people. Well, that's how many Black women there are on this app that do this weird stuff. It's a lot. And that is problematic in itself. That whether Jazz Doll and I are even speaking on one of the same people, the fact that that there are multiple women that do this, that should let you know that there's some problems going on that we need to address with fellow Black women. But let me go down here to T, and I'll get everybody again before I get out of here, so everybody can get a chance to speak. Go ahead, T.
I want to say sorry, y'all. I had to give my niece her affirmation, tell her how beautiful she looked, and she absolutely do look beautiful. Her first time going to salon, back to school. She's going to kindergarten, so we had to give her her shine. I'm so sorry, ladies. Y'all understand how important it is, which goes into the topic, how important it is to give little Black girls affirmation, to tell them that they're beautiful, that they're smart, they're worthy, they're everything, they're great, so they won't grow up and need it from a dusty that doesn't even whose opinion it doesn't even matter. So with that being said, my girl Jazz Doll up there hit the nail on it. Like when I mentioned that we are not oppressed by Black men systematically, we're oppressed by Black men by philosophy. They have put they ingrain into our minds to be race loyal, to not want them to be successful, and to basically accept them being mediocre or even the scummest of the scum type of man. But as long as you get yourself a Black man, you win in the game, no matter even if he abuses you. Yes, the Black men have did a fantastic job with doing that to Black women, but I just want to also put out there that is a shift, there's a change in the air, and that's why these Black men are panicking all over social media saying, "Oh, let's get back together, let's come back together." No, no, we're not coming back together. We're waking up. We're moving smarter, and just like what Jazz Girl said, a Black woman can be successful, smart, ambitious, everything under the sun, but her self-esteem when it comes to relationships is in the toilet. And I keep saying that a single Black woman is a threat to Black men because her self-esteem is there, her self-worth is there, and she's not defined by a relationship. And that's what I think Black women need to be on board with that. And with that being said, not just a romantic relationship, we also gotta cut them off with as being like a brethren, being a neighbor, father, uncle, whatever, like our kinfolk. We almost gotta cut them off of being our kins. Because as long as we feel that we need to show them empathy and have to take pity on them, they're not even asking to acknowledge their humanity. They're basically telling us they want us to take pity on them and drag them along, even though they know in their heart they want to drag us down with them. They know that they're a sinking ship, and they want us to be the captain on that sinking ship, and we're not going for it no more. And that's what Black women need, and that's what Black women, I think, has come to the realization. You can hear older Black women as old as 80 years old telling the truth, that how they have messed up in the community, training each generation to be male centered and to be a pick me. So yes, like I said, we're not being like that no more. And I just want to say, son, Trigger and Jazz Doll, I know y'all don't want to be messy, but y'all gotta give me like a little bit of sip of the tea, because I'm sorry. I'm like, who is in my face, playing in my face? Because there's so many women I honestly couldn't think about that is, oh yeah, Black man, nah, 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 nah. And have my own suspicion. You know what? I'm gonna trust my own discernment, because even though we're gonna cut off these
T
gender,
Scorpio. T
yeah.
Scorpio. Ask supervillain. I told her about one of them.
Okay, good, 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 good,
Just
good,
don't
good.
say it on this live.
I won't. Good, good, good. But I was just also gonna say, just like how these men gotta go, we have to come to a realization, ladies, that some of these women gotta go too. We gotta turn our hearts cold towards these women that want to keep that that gene of male centered gene. We got to cut them off too. Anytime we hear black women trying to put that idea in a young black girl's mind to be male centered and to worship a man, we gotta cut her off. She can't go with us. That's all I'm a land. Thank you, Trick, for having me. Thank you, ladies. I'm gonna be right here in the comment section, tapping up the screen.
All right, thank you so much, T. Yeah, Simply Carmel, I see you in the comments, sis. I normally, actually, honestly, I know I talk a lot of stuff, about men and things like that, but I really do try to be pretty chill when it comes to like TikTok drama and beef. You know what I'm saying? And especially with black women, most of the time is if I see the craziness, I just see it and I don't say anything. And normally I don't tell anyone. It was just one time I had told Supervillain something because I didn't really know who else to say anything to because it was just so I was just so flabbergasted. But normally I try not to say anything at all, just because I do try to just not put down black women at all. So it just be like I just see it and just be like, oh, okay. All right. I see it and I'll just back away. But I should have probably known certain things. Never mind. Because that will probably give y'all too much of an insight of what I'm talking about. So let me just shut up. Let me go over here to Chilotam. Go ahead, Chilotam. I'll give you 3 minutes, sis. Go ahead.
Hi Trig, hi everyone on the
Hey.
panel, hi everyone in the chat. So regarding the prompt, I know I came in a bit late. I wanted to use something that just happened recently as an example, and I hate to put celebrities at the forefront of things like this, but these are kind of the public representations that we have to use to analyze these situations. So in Love Island, there was this dude Ace. I know he's with Shelly, and I feel like I sound so silly using this to to buttress my point, but I'm guessing somewhere. So apparently he did an interview with someone else, and the interviewer kept asking him, "Oh, do you think Nick and Alendra is real?" And he kind of gave a really weird answer, which I found weird because he kept saying Alendra is his friend, and it's like, if someone is your friend, then why are you going to the internet to put their relationship on blast, whether or not the relationship is real? Like, they could just be exploring themselves, or maybe they have an arrangement between themselves. Like, that's fine, it doesn't necessarily need to be real. But if that's Ace is also black, right? And he's saying Olandra is his friend, then why would you go and do that to your friend? And I was scrolling a lot on Twitter, and people were saying that apparently it's because he wanted the Cordell and Serena story thing, and then all of them came out of the villa and saw that Nick and Alondra were the quote unquote superstars or the sweethearts of the show. So I wanted to just use that as an example to show how, like, you can have these people as friends, but they are still kind of jealous of you or in an imaginary competition with you. Another thing is that I read, although I can't confirm this for sure, but I read that he apparently listens to these red pill podcasts or whatever. It was like he's kind of like, in the red pill space, and he is also, kind of misogynistic. And it's just like, it boggles my mind, because I don't understand how you can call someone your friend and then go online and disparage them. So I just wanted to use that point that example to land my point. Thank you.
All right. I got you, Chilotem. I'll tell you right now what I feel about Ace or whatever. I feel like Ace is number one, a hater. And I think that everything that he's doing is rooted in hatred. And I don't think that he cares about Shelly that much, because if he did, he would know that any actions that he does is going to bleed off onto her, because they're in a couple, which is why right now she's taking heat. The smartest thing that Shelly could do is to distance herself from Ace. But I fear that she will not, because I fear that she's giving me very much male-centered, that she will put this man's presence above her own welfare and well-being. Because in my opinion, what type of 28-year-old woman wants to be with somebody that's 22? That's already a strange age gap dynamic. That now normally I don't feel like, or they said he might have just turned 23. So they have a either 5 or 6 year difference. in certain gaps that might be acceptable, but in the gauge gap that he's at, no, that's a weird age gap. But I'll just say that he gives me very much that he doesn't think of anything but himself and his own welfare. And I think that's indicative of a lot of black men, that they only care about themselves and their own feelings in the moment, because he was never that girl's friend. Because if he was, he would have never said any of those things. He could have talked about all of those things privately. So he's just a weirdo. But I said that from the beginning. And I said it on the live where I was talking about Love Island, and so many people called me a hater. And it's just like, it just lets me know that people's discernment is very poor and seeing the character of people. I don't know. But let me go. I'll just start from the bottom and work up then. I'll go to Jazz Doll, then Gabrielle, and then Deli Pooh.
Okay, so here's, I had a little small epiphany while y'all were talking. So like, right, okay, here's the thing. Society started saying, oh, black women are the most educated. Black women are entrepreneurs. During the COVID, so many black women started businesses, and black women are becoming the fastest homeowners and stuff like this. There's a lot of statistics that are becoming public that black women, and not only that, but it also says that black women are carrying the black community. More black women are in the middle class than anybody. Black men hear these things, and they set aside a long time ago their blackness to stand in madness, to standing with the patriarchy. So they're left now scratching their heads like, how these females, and do use their word females surpass us when we're men and we're trying to stand next to the YT man. Because be honest, ladies, black men really could care less about YT women. They're just a stepping stool to get close to the YT man. See, that's daddy to them, right? And so they're using the YT woman to get to him. So he's confused and left shaking like, why are they getting all these accolades and we're men? We set aside our blackness to stand with the patriarchy and with the YT man. And I would say that's 75% of their disdain for black women, especially today. That's why they don't like black women, because they're like, how are you doubly oppressed and you're still out here kicking behind? They're not educated, and this is why they sit on podcasts. No matter. That's masculine. They want you deaf, dumb, and slow. And that's what, and that makes them feel tall. I believe I'll chop off myself at the knees to make a man stand tall. Those days are over. Our mothers and our grandmothers, the sad part about it, and this is sad, 90% of black women are pygmies and mammies. We are a minority of liberated black women. Why do y'all think they hate Megan Thee Stallion so much? She's sexually liberated. She's a liberated black woman. She hops from one man to the next. And I be like, get him, Megan. And this is why they don't like her. And she got a black man locked up. She's enemy number one. And I was tell black, and another one is, what's Steve Harvey's daughter's name? Lori Harvey. I would say black women, be more like them. And if you find yourself degrading Megan, you're part of the problem. We have to liberate ourselves sexually and just overall liberate yourself from this conditioning, because the church told you were less than. Your mama and them told you were less than. The music told you were less than. And none of it is true. The black woman is God on earth. She gives birth. We carry the Eve gene. That is a gene that can create any race. We're the only ones who have it. You gave birth to society. That's godlike. I land there.
All right, all right. I'll say that I agree with some of the things that you were saying, but I will say that I like Meg Thee Stallion. I like her music, and I like Lori Harvey because she seems to not stay in situations that don't serve her. And if the rumors are true, her having men sign NDAs so that they won't mention her, I respect that. I don't personally feel like sexual liberation is the key to freedom for black women, because what is sexual liberation? Is that having intercourse with men? I don't believe that liberates you at all, allowing unworthy men into your body. If the majority of men are trash and you're sexually liberated and you're having intercourse with all these men and allowing all these spirits and unworthy men inside of you, what are we doing here? Like, if you believe that black women, I believe that God is God. I don't believe black women are God, but if black women are godly or created in God's image, why would you allow men that are unworthy in your circle and call that, you know what I'm saying, liberation? I believe the most liberating thing that you can do as a black woman is to not allow any men inside you that are unworthy and are not there. That's just my opinion. I don't think that the connection of men should ever, anything related to men should be so far away from a woman's liberation and a woman's thoughts and a woman being free and a woman being empowered. Like, that should be like over there in Jupiter, in the I don't know, the meteor belt or something like that. Like, it shouldn't be anywhere where, what we as women are thinking about. And I think a lot of the hatred that Meg Thee Stallion receives is the fact that she spoke up. Because I follow Megan Thee Stallion, and I followed her way back. I'm talking about, I followed Megan Thee Stallion on Instagram when she was like not even like Meg Thee Stallion, really. I think she might have called herself The Stallion at that time, but all I know is that she used to rap by her car. She used to be sitting in the car, and she would get out and she would rap by the car. That's how back in the day I used to follow her, before people was even checking for her like that. And everybody loved her then. Black men loved her at that time. Nobody was calling her ugly. Nobody was calling her a man. I remember when she had Big Old Freak. I remember all these black men did all these reaction videos on YouTube to her and started saying, oh my gosh, like, she's so sexy, she next up. Black men were going ape for real back then for Meg Thee Stallion. Meg Thee Stallion's crime was not sexual liberation. It was not dogging these dudes out. What it was is that she was supposed to be the sacrificial lamb. All black men expect black women to sacrifice themselves for black men. It doesn't matter if he beat the brakes off of you. It doesn't matter if he almost unalived you. It doesn't matter if he touched your daughter. It doesn't matter if he touched your son. It doesn't matter if he stole your car. It doesn't matter if he went in your house and broke up everything that you own. You as a black woman are supposed to shut up and protect the black man at all costs. And that day, and I remember because I didn't see a replay, I saw the live. When that girl sat there in that live and she looked like she was going back and forth on whether she was going to say Tory did it or not. And she said, yeah, you did it. You trying to say all this stuff about me and make it seem you shot me. The minute that came out of that girl's mouth, everything changed. Because before then, in the comment sections, I paid attention to it all. People was like, oh, she hasn't said who did it yet. Everybody still wasn't not on her side. But the minute she said that he did it, a black man did it, and she stood on it, that's when the tides turned for her. And that's when she became public enemy number one. And I promise you, I saw all. I was paying attention to everything. I saw everything. I watched the lives. I saw in real time. I read the comments. I screenshot them. That's exactly when it happened. I'm just saying, I probably just ran it, y'all. But I do really like Meg Thee Stallion. I do respect her. I do think that she's a strong woman. I do feel bad for her with losing her mom and her dad and her granny and all of that. And I think that she still stands tall. I really do. I think that she makes some poor choices in men. Hopefully this man right now, he seems to be much of a better caliber of man. But yeah, I really do like her. I'm a fan of her.
Sugar, let me say this. Here's the thing. I wasn't saying give your body over to men. That's not what I was saying. One of the number one things that black men do on every app they can get across is a smex shaming or a smut shaming. And what's your body count and all that type of stuff here. And what I'm saying to women is, once you get liberated from that, because Smex is the number one thing that black men do, that's their apple to their eye, right? And then they try to shame black women for it. This is why the birth rate in the black community damn near don't even exist anymore. And what I am saying is, whatever power that black men think they have over the black woman, get rid of it. Be liberated. If a man says, "Oh, you slept with 5," okay, and what's your point? Now, I'm not that my message isn't go sleep with a bunch of men. I hope that's not how it came off. But what I am saying is, it's the shaming, because you're liberated from that.
You cannot hurt me or harm me. For me, if somebody called, like prime example, I get called a gold digger. I'm like, well, I don't like digging for the gold. I want it to be just given to me. You know what I'm saying? That's my mindset. And again, that's why I say they have us in a chokehold, because so many women, so many black women do have their number one thing to do is to get the black man's approval, while he's too busy trying to get the YT man's approval. And so that's the point, that the angle that I was going in. But I also agree with you. It's you're taking down a black man in our community. Like you said, he can be a rapist, he can be a child predator, he can I don't know if I can say that word, a PDO3. He can be all of those things, and that's fine. But it's two things that cannot go on in the black community. You cannot be rainbow and as a black man, and you cannot cause any harm to come towards the black man in the black community. That's the two things you cannot do, right? So that's the point that I was trying to make. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna land because I see somebody else came up. If you're gonna date black men, black women, ask certain questions. If you're gonna date, be like, so what you think about Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez? Well, what's your point on what you think about Kevin Samuels? What you think about him? You know, ask these type of questions. When you go to their Instagram. If they're following nothing but Latinas and YT women, you're just a seat filler. Understand? That's all I'm saying.
All right, all right. I got you. I got you. I understand where you're coming from, Jazz. Let me go up here to Gabrielle and then Deli.
Yeah, thanks, Triggered. I know this was like a little bit back earlier in the live, but I kind of want to piggyback off of what Supervillain was saying when she was still up, because she mentioned that I believe she said that there are women like BOK women of like high caliber who had like great, degrees and stuff like that. And she said they were letting felons move in, and then and I think in the comments, Shalotam said she knew of an attorney who got pregnant by a man with a RICO case or a RICO charge or what have you. And I genuinely don't understand it. Like I don't understand how that's happening. Like I truly don't. I promise I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to victim blame. I'm seriously not, but I just don't get it. I mean, there are even studies that show that when most people date and marry, they tend to date and marry people who are on their level. So I don't like, oh my, I don't understand, like, how are men with like felonies and RICO charges, how are they even coming into contact with women who are, like attorneys and, are probably like up for a partner in their law firms or whatever. It's just, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I don't understand the putting objectively, bottom of the barrel males on pedestals. It's like, I mean, yeah, obviously they compare themselves to women, but like Supervillain was saying, it's like at some point it's got to be like, why entertain these males, period? Like, and I mean, some people are going to say it's victim blaming. It's not what I'm trying to do here, but I just don't get it. It's like, what have these males done to deserve being put on a pedestal? Like, what is the attraction? Like, what would, like, I don't know, what would a man with a RICO charge even have to say to like an educated attorney who's like surrounded by other educated, like I don't get it. Like I don't understand it. I think that just not dealing with men who do not have anything going on for themselves, whether they'll be okay, white tea, whatever, just like men of low caliber period should not be entertained or dealt with. Like, they bring nothing but stress and infidelity and, potentially STDs. They're not pouring into women. There are all kinds of studies showing that these men get resentful and insecure, and then they try to cheat to humble the women. Like, maybe someone can explain to me what the appeal is, because I genuinely am not understanding it. But it's like, these men, they offer nothing, and they know they offer nothing because they're comparing themselves to women. So I don't understand, like, how, a BOK woman of high caliber, how is anybody with a RICO charge even coming within 20 feet of you? Like, respectfully, if you have a RICO charge and felonies, you're respectfully not on the level of like a woman who's an attorney, or a woman who's educated and has things going, like you, if you have felonies, like, you can't even go to Canada or like other countries around the world. So I'm not understanding it. Maybe someone can tell me how it's still even an issue with like these like bottom of the barrel men like coming into contact with, like high caliber, like educated women, because it's blowing my mind right now just hearing that, but
Okay, so Gabrielle, are you talking about that black woman that went viral that was on the Young Thug Rico case and she's pregnant by one of the defendants on there, like this low life bum? Is that what you're talking about?
Think so because I saw in the comments Chilotia mentioned that I remember vaguely like scrolling through Facebook or some social media platform earlier saying it did show a pregnant woman, and I
Yeah.
think they might have said that the guy had Rico. Like, yeah, but
Hmm.
I was just, it's probably what you're talking about, but I don't
Yeah.
like. Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
And you know what? His face is tatted up. He looks absolutely disgusting. I will say that I do think, just like Simply Karma was saying in the comments, there are a lot of black women that have conflated like hood and bad behavior with masculinity, and they think that that means the man is masculine and therefore they're attracted to that, you know. And that there's a lot of black women that do that, but I'm not trying to put everything on black men because black women have got to unpack that on their own. But I will say that black women have also been programmed to a lot of black women, not me, because I've never liked thugs ever a day in my life. But I will say that black women have been programmed to associate, you know, bad behavior with masculinity. You had like the addition of gangster rap. They had it calling black women B's and 304s and making videos where they were degrading women and making that seem like that's the cool thing to do. You even got the movies like, you know what I'm saying, Baby Boy and Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society and all of these things where they had hood men acting aggressively with black women and romanticizing that type of behavior. So I think that some women are still deeply affected by that. Even now, if you go on Tubi, it's a million different shows and movies with the same type of rhetoric of black men mistreating black women and making it like this is romanticizing this type of behavior, romanticizing a woman going off on a man when he comes in late, is not daring him, putting his hands on her, yelling and screaming at her. So I do think that there are some women that have not unpacked their trauma and they think that that stuff is cute and attractive, and those are the men that they're attracted to. I think it's but sometimes, you know, you got somebody like Mariah the Scientist who has two parents that are, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're married, they're still together, and she still chooses to go down that road and choose an ignorant, disgusting thug like Young Thug. So I don't know. It's something that black women have got to unpack, that some of them like the bottom of the barrel, trifling, disgusting men. I can't make sense of it. But you're willing.
Yeah,
For
can I
sure.
say one more thing before Deli Poo goes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was only asking because, like I said, there really is a study. Like, you know how, like, in red pill spaces, you'll see, like, them saying, oh, like, rich men love to date, like, Waffle House waitresses. But there's actually a study that shows most cases people, like, doctors tend to marry other doctors, lawyers tend to marry other lawyers. A guy with
Um,
a, you
I
know what
mean,
I
it's hood Negroes everywhere. You know, all you got to be is black and be around. You still can run across a hood Negro, and I do think that that indoctrination, Gabrielle, runs deep in a lot of black women. As I said, a girl that I used to be really cool with, when she met my second husband, she said, "Wow, he seems really nice. I don't like men like that. He seems boring. He seemed like he come home from work every day." What type of craziness is that? So you see my husband and you think he nice and he comes home from work every day, and that is something you don't like, you know? And she had told me at the time, she said, because she was married, she told me that she liked the fact that her husband, when she argued with him, she did not know if he was going to do something to her or not. She said, when I look in his eyes, I don't know if he'll do something to me or not. And that turns me on. Sick, weird, and twisted. I will say that she's divorced now from him. And now she told me that I taught her, because now she's with a nice guy that goes to work and come home and that's all he do. But I don't know. It's just some women, black women are like that. I really don't know what to say.
Before Deli go, let me give a small answer to that. In our community,
I'll give you
Gabrielle.
2 minutes.
Okay, I won't even need all of that. In our community, we have been, black men have been put as these wounded warriors who been struck down by the racist YT man. And we as black women, our mamas and our grandmothers, have infantized black men. And what has happened is black women have no standards at all when it comes to black men. Like if when we date YT men and we date outside our race, we date up. When we date black men, we date down. All he has to do is be black and male, and we will choose him. And like Trigger said, that conditioning has been put into us. And like I said earlier, when you say they're kings, and when you say God is a black man, the Son is a black man, Jesus is a black man, when you do all of that, you have conditioned the black woman to see him as a God no matter what he does. The bar is very low. We think a good black man is a black man who has a job and has a college degree. That just makes him an adult. But the bar is low in our community when it comes to black men. And I agree with Triggered. We got to be held accountable for that. I agree with the super villain. At some point, enough is enough. How are we still being bamboozled in 2025 in an era of podcasts and black men having a microphone and a voice? That's all I have right now.
Yes, I mean I definitely agree with you. I think that just like you said, I think blackness is the currency. When it comes with black men, that is the selling point. Nothing else but he black, you know? Which is sad. But let me go up here to Deli Poo. And then we'll end it out with Miss Calandra. Go ahead, Miss Deli Poo. Sorry it took so long to get to you.
Okay, I loved what they were talking about because they both and Jazz Doll talked about like some of my talking points, and I was just like, this is what I'm talking about. Does it hurt? Yes, because if a black woman were to say something like YT supremacy does, like I would be more offended when that happens. And I'm like, well, why would you do that? Like, so for Jazz Doll, when she's talking about, oh, well, we had we were in this all of this together, and that's why I gave you guys the example of Black Panthers. Even when they were going through the struggle, they still decided to demolish the black women there. So, and it sucks to say, but we need to segregate ourselves from them as well, because if that's the side you choose on, just like everybody else, then I'm like, you know what? Delineation. Get on out of here. If you want to do that, by all means, stand 10 toes though, because I will not come back. Like, I'm not going to do any of this. I will not fight for you. I will not do anything for you. I will not speak up for you. You fight for yourself. You're all alone. And that's okay with me. They keep bringing us up because they try to bring out our compassion, our empathy, and our nurturing. Like, oh no, well, we got to talk about this. Like, I didn't go to school to become a psychologist. I didn't go to school to become a therapist. Like, and if I did, I'm going to send you an invoice, because why did I just waste my time going through what you just went through? When I went through hell, you were literally one of the ones that perpetuated this against me, this stigma against me. You were the one to clap and dance for them like Sambo. So why are you in our faces? You should be talking about them, talking about what they can do, seeing as how that is your quote unquote preference. And I don't even think they understand what preference mean. That just means I like red apples, but I also like green. I eat a green apple, or I like melon. I like them all, but I will also but my thing is red apples. No, y'all say I don't like black women. That's not a preference, dummy. So nobody knows definitions to words. They just say the same things. And then all of a sudden, when they're talking about why do you date your woman and stuff, black women, what? When did we get into this conversation? They're pathetic at this point. So nope, I'm here because black women, we're gonna sit there and charge ahead. And I'm so happy for us. And I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna sit there and punch all of them in their throat. I can't punch, actually, you guys.
All right, all right, all right. Appreciate you, Shelly. All right, let me end it out here with Miss Calandra. I'm sorry you came at the end, sis, but I still wanted to add you up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you was about to end the line. But I definitely agree with what Deli just said. Well, in response to why they say that about words, that's because they have third grade reading levels. And so they can't comprehend because their brain don't go that far. But I think the reason why they always compare themselves to women is because they do that to avoid accountability. So when even when we're talking, when they start talking about single mothers, when black women start talking about men is, well, what y'all do is they do that to hold them to avoid accountability. And I think they compare themselves to women because they know they don't measure up to other men of other races. And because if you're gonna sit up here and dog black women on dating on lives all day, it's gonna be like, why are you not comparing yourself to other men? Like, you don't talk about how y'all have the lowest salary when it comes to everyone. Yeah, they have third grade reading levels, and it's always gonna be a pygmisha right there with them that is gonna gaslight them and to make them feel like they're better than what they actually are. But I definitely think they compare themselves to women because they know they not nothing, and they know when it comes to other races of men, they're definitely at the bottom of the totem pole. But yeah, that's all I had.
All right, all right. I appreciate you, Kalandra, and it was good to see you today. I'll probably try to go live tomorrow, but I just wanted to say to all the ladies that came on the panel today, I appreciate all of y'all. I respect all of y'all perspectives. You know, I think it's always good, even like when we have the colorism conversation, other conversations, you know, we may not always agree on every last single solitary point. And that's fine. We're not supposed to, you know, you don't want to have it in an echo chamber, but I just want everyone to know that I greatly respect everyone that's up here and everyone that was up here as well. And I'm so glad I got a chance to talk to all of you guys today. And, I really hope that I get a chance to talk to all of you guys later. And I just want to say just real quick, like me being on social media, I feel so blessed because I've had such an opportunity to meet so many black women that are intelligent, insightful, thoughtful, beautiful, elegant, intelligent, just everything. And I respect all of y'all. And I just am so happy that y'all even, you know, respect me enough to even be in my presence to like be on the live and like just sit there and like give me your thoughts and perspectives. I really do appreciate all of y'all. And I really mean that. I'm not just saying it. I really mean it. I really respect all of y'all. And it's so crazy because even the ladies that I really don't like lightweight, like what they're saying, I even still try to respect them too, for the most part, which is why I ain't say what I wanted to say about some of the women on here publicly, because I still try to respect them too. So I just want y'all to know I love y'all, I respect y'all, and y'all are all beautiful and amazing. And I hope that y'all have a great weekend. And I'll try to go live tomorrow, but if I can't, then I'll either see y'all Sunday or Monday. Thanks so much, y'all. I'll see y'all later.